underground, suckled from a teat of stone, raised in the dark, the safety of a mountain home, skin made of iron, steel in our bones. To dig and dig makes us free. Come on, brother, sing with me. I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggy, diggy hole, diggy, diggy hole. I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggy, diggy hole, digging a hole. I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggy, diggy hole.
come follow me, guys. Follow me. Let's go to my house. Look, it's down this way.
stole a car.
It's down.
Jumped in the cave and
I'll
stole
show
a
you where
car.
my.
I've been talking to him
I'll
about
show you where my new house
trying out
is.
for stunt ads,
Oh,
Ooh.
So you,
Holy fuck!
Jesus Christ, he's really keen.
I'm in.
So you're keen to do some cunning stunts?
with us.
Yeah, I want to be part of the stunt crew. I want to be part of the dudes. I want to be part of the stunt crew. I want to be part of the dudes. I want to be part of the stunt crew. I want to be part of the dudes. I want to be part of the stunt crew. I want to be part of the dudes.
Oh my god.
No.
You did a good job so far.
It's gonna cost
You
me.
managed to jump over that fucking wall. I can't get it. Oh, God! Jesus!
Did you like that cool move?
Trying to
guys?
smash
Can I be
right.
part of the team now?
I didn't know you were behind
Can
me.
I be part of the stunt?
I need my bag
shit.
back. So yes, you've got a pretty rigorous initiation process. Just make sure you're pretty savvy and crude up, and that your body and mind is ready to be a stuntman.
I've been doing all sorts of yoga. I've been eating all sorts of yogurt. I've been reading books written by Yoda. So all the yos are covered up ready. Yoga, yogurt, Yoda. Yoga, yogurt, Yoda. Yoga, yogurt, Yoda. Yoga, yogurt, Yoda.
Where are you at?
I'm just breaking into into the impounded part of the police station to steal my car back. I just have to park a broken car next to a wall, jump on the car, jump over the wall, jump on the car, jump over the wall. And now I've got my Sand King back.
Love that score.
I've been doing all sorts of yoga. I've been eating all sorts of yogurt. I've been reading books written by Yoda. So all the yos are covered up ready. Yoga, yogurt, Yoda. Yoga, yogurt, Yoda. Yoga, yogurt, Yoda. Yoga, yogurt, Yoda. I broke my arm. I parked my car in the disabled part of the swamp. And now I'm stealing somebody else's car from the disabled part of the swamp.
You're the worst guy. You're such a mean guy.
I've been doing all sorts of yoga. I've been eating all sorts of yogurt. I've been reading books written by Yoda. So all the yos are covered up ready. I've been doing all sorts of yoga. I've been eating all sorts of yogurt. I've been reading books written by Yoda. So all the yos are covered up ready. Yoga, yogurt, Yoda. Yoga, yogurt, Yoda. Yoga, yogurt, Yoda. Yoga, yogurt, Yoda.
So initiation
Wow, this
part
is what
one,
this
you
game is all
successful,
about.
is park in disabled
Yeah.
spots.
Yep.
Be
Be a
immoral.
dick.
Be immoral.
Be a douche.
Be a bad guy.
Don't
Okay, I'm
think
a
about
bad
your
guy.
actions.
What kind
Is
of
that-
what sort of bad guy? Like when you're in the
Where
supermarket,
the
what sort of
fucking-
guy? You put things back
Where
in
the
one place?
fuck did my door go? Yoga, yogurt, Yoda.
welcome to High Rollers, the weekly D&D stream here on the Yogscast Twitch. Thank you very much for joining us. Sorry we're a little bit late. We had a couple of slight delays. Kim had to finish off her cup noodle, and of course we had to wait for Trot, who is...
he's really late.
He was really late, and he's just been silent. He's been really moody the whole
he's
time.
He's kind of giving me the
creepy, weird...
evil
They follow you around the room, like no matter which way you look.
Creepy. As if that thing wasn't creepy enough as it was. Somebody then went and put googly eyes on it.
So, yeah, we are unfortunately down a Trotimus, a Cam Buckland.
The hand behind his head.
Oh, let's go. Oh, I thought it'd come off there.
It's gone.
We are unfortunately down a Trotimus, a Cam Buckland this week, who is out at PAX South. But not to fear, he will be back next week. But joining me, I'm Sherlock Humes, or Mark, the GM for this game. And joining me this week, I have with me Matt.
Hello.
I have Katie. I have Kim.
Hello.
And we don't have Trot. So yeah, this is our weekly D&D 5th edition campaign stream. We're going to be picking off things where we left last time. I'll do a little bit of a recounting of what happened. Before we do that, a couple of quick things. We've got some amazing fan art throughout the week.
Let's see.
Yeah, so I think Sam's going to have this rolling while I kind of talk about like announcements and stuff like that. I've tried to make sure I credit everybody by putting their name or a Tumblr link and stuff like that. If you've got fan art for us, it's so good. It's all so good. Thank you so much for everyone that sent it in. If you do have fan art for us, there's a couple of things. If you want to email it to community@yogscast.com, that just lets me know you're okay with it being on the stream. I have unfortunately pulled these from Twitter and Tumblr. Yeah, no, there's there's so much stuff. There's so much. If you don't want me to pull it, then just probably put like a little comment. This is great. It's a little shitty.
Oh no! Oh no, he's hot. Tieflings have no time for this.
Yeah, exactly. I just like it was just so
This
good.
is crotch flowers as well. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
so good. So that was by Crazy Anna. She's done some more as well. She's done another one.
Oh, she did really cool.
I didn't get to put all of them on for this week's. Some of them because I had to do this on Thursday because I had Friday off. So I had to just compile what we had. But we will get more and more as we go through. But yeah, again, thank you so much for that.
Wow.
If you want to put it on Tumblr, you can use the hashtag do the High Rollers tag or Roll on Sunday tag. Same with Twitter. And if you don't want me to use it, just put like Mark, don't use this or something. And I'll know not to use it. But yeah, so we had some amazing fan art. Thank you so much for that. I'm trying to think if there was any other announcements. I don't have any. I can't remember. Does anybody have anything that they can think of?
Just that if I look super tired in this, it is because I am super tired. Because I went to go visit my best friend this week, and I've been staying at hers, and it was like a 3-hour drive. And bless her, she's just bought this house, but she doesn't have any furniture. So in the spare room, I had to sleep on an airbed. And halfway through the night, the airbed just broke. So I slept on the hard wood floor I say slept. Because of my back being all wonky and stuff, it was just in so much pain. So I was just like...
There was no sleep.
Yeah, no, I did not sleep. And it wasn't even like a fun I didn't sleep. It was just a horrible, like, I hate life, no sleep. And then I had to drive 3 hours to get here. So if I look tired or if I zone out, it's not because I'm bored or I hate Mark. It's just because I can't really figure out what's going on.
It's fine. She hates me. It's fine. Don't worry. It's just all excuses. But no. So that's pretty much it. Unless do you guys have anything? I can't remember. If I've forgotten something that I said, I apologise. But yeah. Let's do it. So last time on High Rollers. There was a number of things. The adventurers concluded their intrigue within the temple. It was a temple to Corellon that they were encountered. They encountered a dryad named Golthea who ended up tricking them into trying to defeat an ancient spirit while she completed a ritual. The adventurers managed to convince the spirit that they were not there to do any damage and suddenly realised that things were amiss. After a clever ploy by our gypsy cleric Cam Buckland, who pretended to be a goblin.
It worked.
He did royally screw things up, but then he recovered by pretending to be a goblin, and it was convincing.
It was clever. It was more panic.
It was lucky, I think, is the term.
It was a good roll.
It was lucky. Managed to convince it, realised they'd been tricked, rushed in, sadly saw the caravan leader that they had rescued previously, Thomas, being killed, and then they retreated into a burial chamber, leaving the adventurers to deal with some blights. They went into the chamber, realised that there was this ginormous tree growing out of a tomb. Lots of weird magic stuff happened. There was a fight inside the tree. They managed to convince the druid Renwyn that he was on their side, and then it kind of all got shifted around from there. long story short, they survived. They managed to escape the tomb and arrived out into the hills of the Dawn Republic near a village called Tallfield. They rested, they went to the village, and that is where things again took a turn for the worst. They discovered that people had been being killed in the town every night, and that those who tried to leave were being attacked by animals and mysterious creatures. And the party was the Reeve, who is the kind of local leader, requested the party's aid in investigating this. And a few of the party, obviously, for a little bit of coin, were interested. Others had some other reasons to investigate as well. And now that is where we left things off. I believe that Elora and Jiutou had gone to inspect bodies and had learned some things about that. Trelemar was talking to a drow woman who had been captured by the town, and they were blaming who they were blaming for the killings. And after speaking to her, using some sort of strange mind magic that everyone's a bit sort of like, oh, interesting.
He just stared at her for a while.
Exactly, yeah. That's exactly it.
Just gaze into each other's eyes.
Gazed into each other's eyes. Cam looked on in quite horror.
Because he was trying to show off his mace.
He was trying to show off many things to no avail. And that is pretty much where we left things off last time. So if you do want to watch previous episodes, you can watch it on the Yogs Live channel as well. So we begin this next episode. So you two are currently in what was once a temple to Palor, the god of the sun. It is now kind of been turned, it's been kind of emptied and ransacked and turned into kind of a temporary mortuary, effectively, where these bodies have been placed. Some of them are in coffins, some of them just have a couple of sheets over them, and that is where you guys were. You were outside talking to the drow, Vixanis. You had been having a conversation, and it's at this point that you look around and you realise that Cam is no longer there. During your conversation, you were kind of focused on this drow, you were having these deep mental conversations, and he has wandered off or vanished, you're not quite sure, but he is not there anymore.
I think I'll just leave before he comes back.
I figured
if anything, I think you don't even notice, you're just like, whatever.
That annoying.
It's like one of those things where you realise there's an absence of an annoying noise.
Yeah.
It's not so much.
I'm sure there was something around, but nah.
Yeah,
That must have been my imagination.
So really, this is where we kind of get into the open sandbox element of D&D that I like to play, and it's what would you guys like to do? So you had spoken to a couple of people before. You'd spoken to the Reeve, whose name you didn't learn. He is the local leader, and also Calvin, who is the town's marshal. A marshal is kind of like a wandering authority figure that will move between towns, act as kind of like a city guard, a guard captain, effectively. He'll train the local militia, which seems to just be made up of kind of like farm boys who he's taught how to use a spear, and that's pretty much it. Those are a couple of people that you met. You do know there are a couple of other people in town that were mentioned. There seemed to be a halfling and a human woman who were holding back the mob from attacking this drow woman. You didn't really, you might have remembered their names, maybe you didn't.
Got them in my notepad.
You got to see, look, they take notes, these crew. So yeah, and that's pretty much where we left things. It's early morning still. You're kind of talking probably around about 10 a.m. The sun is just beginning to crest. It's quite a blustery day. Being in the hill lands, like the wind rolls down and just kind of gathers up a bit of speed. It's kind of blustery and a bit cold. Spring morning. What would you guys like to do?
So we just found out that the claw marks on the bodies are not caused by animals.
Yep.
There was no blood, not a lot of blood, so it's been bled out quickly.
Yes.
Fear.
Yeah. You realise that they must have had a accelerated heart rate because there was a lot of the blood was not so much still leaking.
There was no feasting on it.
To die.
Yeah, more than left to die. So I think we finished on the conclusion that it was a magical being that created illusions to kind of.
Yes, you'd heard from the
draw
townsfolk.
people out.
Yeah, you'd heard from the townsfolk that the victim, like some of the families, reported hearing their loved ones sort of leaving, crying out for people either long dead or even people still alive. People that they thought were in danger. They rushed out, left the city, and had been subsequently killed.
At this point, can we do anything like an insight roll or something like that to be like, oh, I've seen this kind of thing before, or?
It would probably be more of like a history check if it's like thinking of stuff that might have happened before. That would be history check. Insight is more if you had somebody and you were trying to gauge their body language, or if you were trying to pick up on what they were saying, or if there was like a large social situation, kind of who the power players were, that sort of thing. But yeah, like if this sort of thing happened before, it would be more of a history check.
Okay.
You are outside with the drow woman, and the marshal comes up.
Hello.
And he's just like, Oh, hello. I'm gonna take her back to my kind of temporary office. I've got a jail cell there. I'm just a bit worried with that crowd. If they come back, I want to make sure she's somewhere secure. Do you have any more questions or anything like that?
No, I think I've got all the information I need for the time being.
All right. She's like looks at you with this kind of like, hey, remember, get me out of this kind of look. And she's like, all right, human, come on, let's go. You can see he takes her arms, unties her, but then manacles her. He's got a pair of like, iron manacles her arms behind her back, and then walks her off towards a building at the far end of like the village. You can see it's kind of quite far away. It seems to be a very sturdy stone building. A lot of the buildings here are, you know, local kind of like stone and wood. This one is almost all stone, effectively. It looks, you know, a lot more secure and safe than the other ones. You watch as you're going, you see quite a few of the townsfolk are very carefully watching this drow woman. And also you now. There's definitely an air of suspicion amongst the town, so to say.
I mean, look at you.
Yeah. You know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I would like to speak to Donna, the blacksmith.
Yep. Okay.
So can I leave the temple?
Yep, absolutely. The village isn't particularly large. You're like you can wander around for like 10-15 minutes and kind of figure out where everything is. Are you going to follow or are you going to stay? Do you want to do something different?
I'm gonna follow.
Okay. So you guys probably are leaving about the same time that that Vixalis is being pulled away, and you can see Trelemar kind of, you know, sort of like just about as the marshal is pulling her away. These two come out of like another sort of like stone and wood building, and start making their way further out into the village.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, if we find her,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to. Is there anyone else in the area that she's in? Wow.
So, as you make your way, do you want to follow these guys, or are you going to do your own thing? So Trelemar kind of like trails behind you. You guys head off. The village is kind of like a very rough wooden floor. You know, there's not wooden, rough dirt floor.
Yeah.
You know, it's not very well maintained. There is the wooden palisade wall that goes around. The people here don't interact with you very much. They seem to. Lots of people are locked up in their homes.
Okay.
Nobody seems to be working. It's all very much. There is an air of fear and trepidation. And as you make your way through, it's not hard to see there is smoke billowing from a chimney. You can hear the clang of iron on iron. And as you round the corner, you can see along sort of like one of the outer walls, there is a squat stone, circular stone building with a sort of like a smaller kind of like corrugated shed with like a kind of like very hastily built sort of wooden roof and like large poles. You can see what appears to be sort of a rough stone forge and a blacksmith's anvil and all that outside. And it banging on a piece of iron, it looks to be maybe like a poker being flattened, is a burly human woman, long brown hair tied up in like a really rough ponytail, big, quite strong-looking arms. You can tell from this distance that she must be very muscular. Sweat on her brow. She's kind of got like a bandana tied around it. Blacksmith's apron, sort of like a leather sort of working apron, rough peasant's clothing, and she's just banging away. Nearby, you can see just off in the distance there does seem to be some sort of inn, like a long building, much more nicely decorated than the houses. It has like kind of flaring little motifs and decorations painted onto it. You can see a swinging sign of a white wood barrel and some writing, but it's kind of too far for you to really make out. You can see that just off in the distance. And there's a few other buildings like that which don't seem to be normal houses, but you can't tell immediately what their use is. The woman who's banging away doesn't even actually seem to notice you. She seems to be fully engrossed in her work. So she's just kind of pounding away on the metal as you begin making your approach towards her.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go up and just say hi. My name's Alora. I don't know if you saw us.
She kind of like turns around. She's like, "Oh,
Hi.
sorry." She kind of stops. She's sorry. I was in the middle of something. Who are you?
I'm Alora.
Oh.
We just travelled into this town, and we heard that there's been some horrible murders happening. Can you?
Oh yeah, I saw you all at the with the drow earlier. Sorry, it's just we're not used to seeing such strange folk around here. Elf, tiefling, another drow.
We've had a bit of a long day. We had a bit of an ordeal.
Oh, right. Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah, we've come into the... What was your question again, sorry?
Did you know anything about these murders? Have you seen anything strange?
Trying to think. Nothing more than probably what you might already know. That somebody's killing people outside of the village. Some crazy fools are running outside at night time, hearing voices of loved ones or those long past. They seem to be running out. All I know is the town's tearing itself apart. I mean, people are accusing each other, people are telling crazy stories, and that drow, finding her, I thought they were going to kill her on sight. Luckily, me and Calvin managed to hold them back. There was a couple of ruffians who were looking to beat her to death, but we managed to tear them off her. I don't believe in just accusing somebody without any evidence, so me and the marshal managed to hold them off until we could investigate a bit further. And there's been killings since, so I'm pretty sure it's nothing to do with her. Although some of the other folk wouldn't agree with that necessarily. But yeah, I'm afraid I don't know if I'll be much help. I'm just the local smith. Since my husband died, really just been on my own, so I don't really mingle that much. Apart from with Finney, the tavern owner, he's kind of the only one I really speak to these days.
Oh, sorry for your loss.
Oh, it's fine. It happens.
It wasn't through this.
No.
He
Long.
was killed?
No, many years ago now. 5-6 years past. It
You
happens.
said that people had heard voices of their loved ones and they were running out.
Hmm.
Was there anyone who claimed to have heard that, but you've managed to stop?
No, not so far.
Have all who have ventured outside been killed? Nobody's come back at all?
No, it's I mean, the story's pretty much the same. We've had a few different people. Some of them, the first couple didn't even realise that the person had left. There was a mother, the husband and her children didn't even wake up. She just left dead of night, and then we found her body in the fields the next day. The next couple, obviously that shakes up a town like this, so the next couple were a bit more on edge, I guess. They woke up, they heard their partner screaming off into the night, calling after their son who had died several years ago, claiming, shouting for his name, saying that he was alive, that she could see him. She ran out of the city gates and out into the fields. Apparently the husband lost track of her, and that was it. We found her body again that way. Same story kind of thing. Like, we've managed to try and hold some of them down, but there was one where I think it was old Dan. He managed to break free of his wife's grip, and he ran out, almost possessed, driven by something. This wasn't just seeing something in the dark. He was convinced that there was something out there.
Well, I just had a look at the bodies, and some people are saying that it's animals.
Well,
but
I mean,
from what I've seen from those marks, an animal couldn't cause this. I think
Really?
there's sorcery at work.
oh well. I mean, that's troubling news. I was kind of hoping it would be some sort of beast or something, but I mean, we're used to that. Like around here, we get packs of wolves, even sometimes the occasional bear coming in from the forest and things like that. But sorcery is, well, we don't even have anybody here that knows anything about it, really. I guess Finney's the most knowledgeable, but only because he's travelled around a bit. He doesn't know any magic. He just, he's been to some of the big cities before.
So no magic users in the town at all?
No. We used to have a priest of Paylor, but he left. Yeah, he left a long time ago. People weren't happy with Paylor after the Lightfall, so they kind of run him out of town a little bit.
I see.
Why was he run out of town?
People just, after the Lightfall, monsters were attacking. A lot of people lost their lives. People lost family. Monsters were raiding. They blamed Paylor. It was supposed to be his blessing. They blamed the priest, and he tried to calm them. He tried to tell them that it was, that the gods work in strange ways, that not everything is within their power, but, people were driven by grief and anger. They didn't attack him, per se. They just said that they didn't want Paylor to have anything to do with this town anymore. I've heard the Reeve's wife, she's setting up a shrine to Erathis. She's not a priest, she's just a devout believer, but Marianne, she's the Reeve's wife. I think she's setting one up just near his home. It's only a small thing, like a temporary shrine.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm afraid nobody has any knowledge of magic or anything like that here. I suppose it seems to me that the three of you might be the most outrageous thing that we've seen in this town in quite some time. Especially kind of, just 2 drow. I wouldn't have expected to see one in my lifetime, let alone 2 within a few days.
Just as an aside from this, madam.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, I'm Donna, by the way. Pleasure to meet you.
You haven't seen any dwarves around here?
Dwarves?
Yeah.
Can't say I have.
Eye patch?
No. I mean, we've not had any travellers. You're the first travellers that we've seen in maybe a week. I've not seen any dwarves. I mean, yeah. Finney's the closest we've got, but he's a halfling, so... Most of us here are humans, a couple of half-elves.
Where could I find this Finney?
Oh, he's the tavern. He owns the tavern, the Alabaster Cask. You might struggle to get a room, though. Quite a few of the outlying farms have had to flee into the walls of the village. I think they're taking up most of the rooms, so you might struggle.
Okay.
We've been asked to help you stop what's going on in this town.
That would be appreciated. It's driving this place apart.
Should we find what's responsible? Would you be willing to help us?
Of course, if I can do anything, please let me know. Like, I wish I could help more. I'm not much of a fighter, but I've got a strong arm, and if you need any supplies, I'll be more than happy. If I can just ask you for cover the costs of materials, I'll be happy to make it for you, no charge. If you can help this town, that would be incredible.
Do you have any, or is there anyone in this town who would have any potions? Any alchemists?
She has to think. There is. Finney, there was a friend visiting the tavern. He might still be here. I think he arrived just before all this mess started. An elf. Very strange, though. Doesn't speak. Seems quite mute, but he had the air of an alchemist about him. He had various vials and potions and that sort of thing. I think a few of the locals have been asking him for things like war cures and ailments and that sort of thing. What was his name again? And she seems to furrow her brow. Oh yeah, Kuhn.
Kuhn.
Yeah. Or Soon, perhaps. I can't remember. Elven. No offense, but Elvish was never my strong suit. Might be Soon.
Have you seen any tieflings in the area?
No, you're the first one I think I've seen in months. There was one a long time ago. Travelled through here on his own, I think. Handsome fellow, despite the strange look. Seemed pretty popular with the local ladies, but he vanished a few months ago. I think he was on his way to Briarcrest, the town just north of here.
Interesting.
Shall we?
I didn't see him as type, so I never learned
I think
his
we should
name.
go to the tavern.
Shall we go to the tavern?
I'm going to walk off and leave you guys. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to turn around and walk off.
There you go.
It's just my way.
Where are you going?
I will join you soon. I'm going to walk off towards the fields. I'd like to take a look at some of the kill sites and investigate some of the kill sites on my own, see if I can find any tracks or anything.
Okay.
I'm a bit tired of all of this. I don't really want to be here. I want to get to where I need to go.
Yeah.
You know, this is a human matter. It doesn't bother me if these people die or not, and I'm kind of really impatient, and going to the pub seems like an awful idea.
Awful idea. So the only thing with you is you don't know exactly where the kill sites were. You suspect that somebody like the marshal might know. So you can probably go and ask him, and then from him get directions, and then go to the relevant fields. But it's the first there's a lot of farms around here, and there's a lot of different wheat fields. So it's just finding out which ones that they found bodies in is really the thing. It won't need to play it out or anything. You just go get the directions, and then he points you in the direction of whichever relevant fields. I'll come back to you in a second. You guys head to the tavern.
Yes.
Yep. It's a long wooden building, kind of really nice thatched roof, stone chimney kind of poking out of it. It looks like the type of place where maybe once, if you'd come at a different time, it'd be full of locals laughing and drinking and having a good time. But now it's very still. It seems very somber. It has like a two-split wooden door, so a little short door at the bottom and then the rest of the door at the top. They seem to be barred together. You open it and it leads you into a comfortable wooden, nice nice inn, really. You know, wooden beams, lovely little well-kept bar. You can see behind it there's a selection of different, you know, bottles and very strange-looking decanters and that sort of thing. It seems very well-kept. And mounted on the back wall, kind of above the fireplace, is what looks to be half of a white wood barrel, which seems to be sort of like embedded into the stone at the top of the fireplace. You see, moving around the room, kind of clearing away a few plates, wiping down tables, there is a small man. You know him as a halfling, so he's not, a small man. He is a halfling, so he is small of stature, but he has quite a bit of a belly on him. He's quite stocky. He has his hair kind of in two short, weird braids that kind of curl up, and he wraps them with like two wooden sticks that go in between them. Long sort of like curling like sideburns that come down. He has a short little thin strip of a beard, and he wears very sort of comfortable looking clothing, a little vest with little pockets, but it's very brightly coloured. He stands out amongst like a lot of the villagers that you see who are wearing very plain garb. He clears away. He's like, oh well, hello, sorry, I didn't see you come in. I'm afraid it's not much of a nice atmosphere at the moment, but do come in. I think I remember seeing you outside, actually, with the marshal. How can I help?
Hi, I'm Laura, and this is Trilamar.
Hello.
We recently came to the village, and it's actually about the... I know it's a bit somber, but we wondered if we could talk to you about
the killings,
those
I'm
events.
guessing. Yes.
I'm guessing
Terrible
that you're
business.
Finney.
Yes, that's me. Yes, sorry. Hello. Finney Elmswood, owner of the Alabaster Cask, the only inn here in Tallfield. I'm afraid it's a bit full at the moment, so I can't help you much with rooms, but if there's anything I can do to help with your investigation, please let me know. It's a terrible thing what's been happening. I wish I could do more, but just a tavern keeper.
Yes, well, we did just speak to Donna.
Oh.
And she told us that you might be able to help a little bit more.
Oh, well. She sometimes oversells me. You know what these locals are like. They meet a man who's been to a big city before and they suddenly think he knows everything. I might be able to help a little, but yes, I'm not sure.
Well,
feel free.
specifically in the realm of magic. Do you know anything of magic at all? Or?
Well, I had a few wizardy friends. That's about the most. A young lad who had some magic power to him, and I introduced him to an old friend of mine who survived some of the Lightfall. I was only a child when I met him, but yes, he's a bit of an accomplished wizard, I guess. I'm afraid I don't know any magic myself, but I know a little about it, I guess. What is there anything you had in mind?
Well, after inspecting the bodies, the claw marks made in them, I've spent a lot of time in the forest among animals, and they're not animal marks.
Really?
I believe that it is sorcery, it's magic that's calling these people out.
Well, I mean, that would make sense based on what we've heard. Some of the locals think it might be spirits or ghosts or something like that, which I thought might be possible, but I mean, magic, it certainly could do that from what I remember being told. Illusionists in particular are particularly good at doing things like that, conjuring images, sounds that sound like people. There's also, I don't know, maybe some creature out there that can appear as somebody else, read people's memories or something. I don't know. I'm really sorry. Maybe Dana might have oversold me. I'm just a man who's been around a little bit. I might be able to point you in the direction of some information or folks that might know a little bit about the area. Or I can certainly help you maybe with some supplies, or maybe I can probably dig out one of the back rooms and put some beds in it if you really need somewhere to stay.
Somewhere to stay would be great.
No, certainly. I'll clear out my room. I can sleep down here. It's fine.
Are you sure?
Yes, it's fine.
We don't want to put you out.
No.
at all.
If you're here, you're probably the best hope that we've got to deal with this problem. So if I can give you a warm bed and somewhere to stay, that's the least I can do.
There was one other thing.
Yes, certainly.
Dana said that there was an elf that came in recently.
Oh, soon. Yes, he arrived quite a while ago. He's been with me the whole time, so I know that he's not been involved in any of this. I've managed to keep the locals off of his back. You see, he's he doesn't speak. He can't hear. He's cursed with deafness, so he doesn't speak much. But I can read he has a language with his hands. It's kind of similar to something that an old friend of mine taught, so I can sort of interpret for him. But yes, he's a bit of an alchemist. If you need his help, I'm sure he'd be more than willing to help you.
That would be great. Any kind of potion, something to help us
Sure,
out.
let me go grab him if you want to take a seat and
Thank you.
can I get you a drink or anything like that?
No, I think
No, I'm good.
we'd rather keep our wits about us at the moment.
All right, well let me go grab Soon. He's just upstairs, and I'll bring him down to you. All right,
Thank you.
no problem. Thank you so much. You head off to the marshal's office. He's like, oh, hello, can I help you?
I would like to know where the last killing was. I want to investigate the site.
Oh right. Well, I need to get the voice because I was just doing that other one.
Can I just say, that was the cutest voice ever.
It's my Ant and Deck voice. Hello. No, but yeah, he's just like, yeah, certainly. If you're gonna head outside, I should at least send a couple of my militia boys with you. I mean, it is dangerous to be traveling out there.
I will be fine.
All right, I'll trust you on this. And he goes like, he pulls out like a parchment, which is a map, and he shows you on it. He's like, sorry, it's a bit of a crude map. I'm not much of a cartographer, but it shows you the local area at least. This is my Babby's first drawn map, so it does look quite childish.
Babby's first.
So, I don't know if it's going to be easier for you to see this on the screen, but he basically indicates, you can see all of these red squares.
Mm-hmm.
These are all wheat farms. Those are all big wheat fields.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these red squares are different wheat fields. He indicates a number of them. They seem quite spread out. So you've got like one here. I'll mark them with a bit of pencil. So he marks them.
Where am I currently?
This is the village
the
here.
village, okay.
So this is the village with the wooden palisade, and then there's a bunch of like points, and you can see he's written on them like points of interest. And then the other one was 1, 2, 3, 4. That one, and then the fifth one was this one. So he marks on them where the bodies have been found. He's like, this is probably the nearest one. It's up near, about halfway between here and the Green family farm. The others have all been spread around, really. I've not been able to send many men out. During the day seems okay, but as soon as we try and get beyond these areas, wolves, bears, birds, they attack us in droves, sending us back.
And where these bodies that were found, where have they come from? Have they come from the farms? Have the people...
So they're almost all been from within the village itself.
Right.
Some of the farms we've not actually heard from. Some of them have made their way here. The Dunwoods and the the Culhelms, they've both made it into the village. Unfortunately, we've not heard from the Green family or the Kingswoods in a while.
Out of curiosity, what is your take on all of this?
My take on it? Well, the way I see it is, it's definitely something unnatural, some sort of sorcery or some sort of beast, creature maybe that's luring people away to feed on them or to cause terror. It's not unheard of out in the wilds to get these sorts of strange magical beings, I guess. But unfortunately, you try telling a bunch of locals that, they'll believe anything from old folk stories of old witches or beasts that live in the woods. A few of them are a bit scared of there's an abandoned farmstead. They say that a family was killed there. They think it might be some ghost come back to haunt everyone.
Tell me that story.
Not much I know happened before my time. A young boy, I think he had some sort of strange... The way the locals tell it is he had a curse or some sort of strange power. He kidnapped his family, kept them locked up, experimented on them. And eventually he drove himself mad, killed himself. They found the rest of the family dead, strangely mutated and warped. That was how the story goes, and now they say that his spirit haunts the local area. It's kind of a local story. The teenagers dare each other to run up and touch the door and that sort of thing. I mean, I've heard of similar things, creatures that might be ghosts and spirits that haunt certain areas. I've never tangled with one myself, but I know a few men who have turned their hair white or their eyes blue when it touched them, that sort of thing. Could be something like that, but none of us here are equipped to deal with that sort of thing.
And which field was the latest body found in?
The latest body was found in this one. Just east. I'm getting distracted. Your tail, it's swishing around everywhere. But no, it's east. It's a few farms east. That's why I said some of them seem quite far out, some of them seem nearby. All we know is that Some of them manage to get out of the wheat fields and we find them in the roads. Some of them die within the wheat itself.
And it always happens at night. Any particular hour?
Seems to be after people go to sleep. So it's kind of, I guess, between the hours of 11 and maybe 4 or 5. Sun normally rises just after 6.
Which farms did you say you hadn't heard from for a while?
The Green family, and the Kingswoods. I think it's been several days now. I'm hoping that they're alright. Maybe they locked themselves up tight, managed to keep anything out, but, well, I'm afraid to say I'm not much of an optimist. I expect that they're likely dead.
Thank you for your help, Marshal. I shall head out and I shall investigate these sites.
Be careful. You know, some of these places, I mean, if these creatures do attack, I'm sure you're capable, but just be careful. Like, you're our only hope in this town, so I know it's none of your business, and I know you've probably got a lot of better things to do, but we appreciate it. They're simple folks, but they're no match for something like this. So, and neither am I, to be frank.
If the travellers who came in with me come this way, let them know where I've gone.
Will do. Will do.
Well,
So you're going to head to the closest one?
I'm just thinking about this. Where's the Kingwoods and the Greens?
So the Greens are over here.
Yep.
The Kingswoods are all the way
Over
over
there.
here.
And
I'll
that
pass
was
this
the-
around, so you
Yeah, I
guys.
just want to write the names down.
Yep.
So I think I'd like to head out to. They said that the nearest,
That was to
the
the
most
east.
recent
Yeah.
death.
So it was that one. Yeah.
So I'd like to head out to where the most recent death
Okay.
is.
Sure. Okay. You guys, down the stairs, this wooden set of stairs with a banister carved very beautifully, lots of innate sort of detail, sort of like sheafs of wheat and that sort of thing, and moons and sort of very local farmery stuff. Finney comes down, his belly bouncing along as he goes down, followed by a very pale, not like your blue-skinned, he has more of a kind of human flesh tone, pointed ears, very short cropped brown hair, dressed in very unusual, like a leather tunic, but it has lots of holders and pouches and that sort of thing on it. He has a belt with a satchel, and he kind of comes down, he kind of holds his arms quite close, he kind of looks around, he has like a very nervous disposition, and he comes downstairs and he's like, oh, this is my friend Soon. And he kind of looks at Soon and he does a number of gestures that you don't quite understand, and Soon looks at him and he does a number of gestures back, and then he nods, he bows, he seems quite nervous around you, like his eyes constantly are like flicking back and forward, like up and down, he's constantly looking at Trelamar, like he seems to be watching your hands in particular, and so he's like, oh, I do apologise, perhaps there's some elven thing I don't really know about here, but he's a bit nervous all the time, strange circumstances and all that, and with the village being under lockdown, I'm sure he'd rather be on his way, but he's not been able to. Is there something in particular? I'll need to interpret for him because he can't hear.
Of course.
So
I was wondering if you were able to craft some kind of a healing potion.
healings,
Healings, yeah.
wounds and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Yes. So he kind of again makes some gestures at Soon. Soon watches him very carefully and then gestures back, and then reaches in and he pulls out. He has 3 long vials, each stoppered with a cork of a red, slightly glowing, viscous-looking liquid, and he kind of holds them out. And Finney's like, yes, he says he's got 3. He can't make any more until he can get out of the village, unfortunately. But he's still got 3 left. He'd be more than willing to sell them to you.
How much are you looking for
Again,
these?
there's a little bit of an exchange of gestures. He turns around and he goes, well, he normally sells them for around about 60 to 70 gold. But given the circumstances, and I've explained that you're helping us, he's happy to sell them for 50, but that's really the least he can go. If you've got goods that he can exchange, he's happy to take gems or that sort of thing.
Trelamar, what you
Yeah, I've got 2 urns that are worth 50.
Oh.
So are you going to pull
I'll pull those out.
He kind of, his eyes lighten up and you can see that obviously they're elven in design. You've got 2 that are worth 50 each. I can't remember if
Yeah, I think
I think they were
50
25
or are they
each.
25
I think they're
each?
25 together.
each. Yeah.
He kind of looks at them and he quickly gestures with Finney. Finney gestures back. He's like, oh, well, he's quite interested in those. He's actually, yes, he'd be happy to trade those for potion. He's actually willing to give you 2 for the urn. Says there's I think it's some elven thing, I'm guessing. He's happy to exchange 2 for the urn itself.
Yeah.
Shall we do that?
Yeah, we'll go for it.
Yeah.
He nods very much and he kind of holds out his hands. Again, quite suspicious, but he kind of gently takes the urn off of you. He seems to examine it, his eyes kind of wide. Not excitement, but there seems to be some sort of recognition there. And he gestures and he hands over 2 of these vials to you. It's 2 potions of regular healing, just normal potions of healing.
Okay.
And Finney's like, do you have money for the 3rd, or do you would like to wait? I mean, nobody else is going to be buying. None of us have seen. I think I'm the only one who's got over 50 gold in the entire town.
I think we'll wait for now. But
Certainly.
thank you very much for the 2. And I bow to Soon.
And he bows back. He pulls out. He pulls out a small little kind of pouch, like a little leather pouch, and he hands it to you. And inside you can see there's quite a lot of natural looking herbs. It will probably help if you had to do some sort of medicine check.
Thank you very much.
It's just he kind of gives you a silent prayer, exchanges a few more gestures with Finney, and Finney's he just says, if you're here to help, he wants to help as much as he can. So those are for you.
It's very good to know.
No, it's no problem. I've prepared a room as well. I've had one of the local girls just set up my room. She's dragged we've got a couple of floor beds, so they're not comfortable, but they'll be a lot better than sleeping on the floor. I'll set myself. I've got a hammock actually out back. I realised I'm going to bring that inside, set that up, and I can sleep in that. It's fine. Just one word of warning though: do be a bit careful around the locals. They were pretty aggressive towards that drow woman, and I worried that they might be the same with you, sir, Mr. Chalmar. Might just be a little rough, is all I'm saying. But yes, if anything else, if I can offer you any kind of assistance, please let me know.
Finney, can I ask you a couple of questions?
Of course.
The priest of Palor, the one that was driven out of town, do you know anything about the circumstances around why that happened and where he might have gone?
Yes,
that
where
was
did he go?
I was away at the time actually. I was visiting Talis Val. It was 10 years ago now, I think, maybe 15. A long time ago. It was pretty much there was an attack. A number of hobgoblins and goblins raided the farms. Quite a few people lost their lives. They're farmer folk. They don't know how to fight back. The marshal and a couple of the militias, the marshal at the time, managed to rally some, and they fought them back eventually, drove them off. But the rest, sadly, a lot of folks died. And before, with Palor's light, there was never that sort of problem. The goblins wouldn't come near us. So a lot of people turned their anger towards Palor. He was supposed to protect us. They were angry, they were in grief, mourning. And they just turned on the priest. He tried to calm them as best as he could, but they told him, get up and leave, or we'll come back in the morning and we'll make you leave. And he was a peaceful man, a gentle soul, gathered up his things and off he went. Headed up towards Briarcrest, if I remember being told. Sad situation. Of course, this town's had it's had its problems. It's a good place, really. The people are simple folk, but they're generally well-meaning, but they're superstitious. They're not travelled.
Okay. Have you seen any dwarves around, or have you heard anyone talking about any dwarves that have been around?
Dwarves. The last one I think we had through, he was a merchant. That was a while ago now. Maybe 2-3 weeks ago.
Any distinguishing features? Eye patch, perhaps?
Now you mention it, yes, that does ring a bell, actually. Eye patch, who was telling me about that? I can't remember. But somebody did mention that he only passed through, he didn't stop. That's why I didn't meet the fellow, he didn't stay here. But he passed through. How was it? Some of the children were saying he had trinkets, mechanical birds, and sort of all these fancy things. Nothing anybody here could afford, but he passed through. But yes, they mentioned he had an eye patch because it had a strange symbol on it.
Any idea what the symbol looked like?
No, sadly not. I doubt any of the kids will remember either. You know what they're like. 5 minutes and they're all worrying about what's going on now. But yes, I reckon, yes, I think he did pass through, actually.
I have no idea where he might have headed off to.
Well, Briarcrest. Yes, it's the only, if you're heading north, it's the only place you're going to go.
Okay.
It's the main settlement north of here, really. So if he was travelling through and he's got goods to sell, that's where he'd be going.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for your help.
No, thank you so much. Right, switching back to you. switching back and forth. So you're heading out towards the east. As you travel out across the hills. Yeah, I'll take it back.
Do they have eyes?
The hills do not have eyes, not yet.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
But as you travel, it's very calm, gentle breeze. The gustiness that was around this morning has died down. It's now just kind of a low breeze. It's chilly, certainly compared to what you're used to back in your homeland. It's a bit chillier. You can see these fields just stretch out across the land, and the wheat is enormously tall, 5 feet, 6 feet in some places, just soars way above it. You're not quite sure why. That doesn't seem normal to you, but it's everywhere around here. The gentle rolling hills, and eventually you kind of follow the marshal's directions, you're following the notes that you took, and you come to a very large wheat field. You can see dotted around these wheat fields, there's the odd scarecrow here and there, there's a couple of stations for tools. Some of them, are just lying on the floor, discarded. Some of them have kind of been propped up, but there's definitely they've not seen use in several days. And following the steps, you manage to work your way into one of these fields. Give me a survival or a perception check. So survival is a skill, and it's often used with things like tracking and that sort of thing. Or you can do a perception check.
9.
Okay, so it takes you quite a while. Probably maybe an hour or 2 hours of you're literally trying to push through all these wheat fields, trying to track it down, but eventually you do find what was clearly a trail. You find dried blood, you follow that through, and you find yourself kind of in a small, not opening as such, but where the wheat is a bit wider. You can see quite a lot of it's been trampled down, and there is splatches of a lot of dried blood, all scattered around very hastily, it seems. There definitely was some sort of scuffle. What are you looking for in particular?
I'd like to look at the blood patterns, like how it's fallen. Does it indicate anything? Has anyone made any symbols with it? Has anyone,
Okay.
Is there anything deliberate about it, or?
There doesn't appear to be any symbols made of it. It seems almost not quite random, but very chaotic. You've not seen a lot of stuff like this before, but it definitely looks like somebody was injured. They turned, blood spilled. They turned again, blood spilled here. They've tried to run. It's dripped as they've tried to, run. There's definitely blocks of it leading away. And yeah, there doesn't seem to be any drawn symbols or things like that. In terms of the local area around, again, all you can see, just if you go on your tiptoes, you can kind of peer over the wheat. You can see, there's a scarecrow in the field. There's a large hill in the distance. You can see what maybe appears to be... In the distance, you can see a ruin, sort of an old stone building that appears to all be ruined on the top of a hill, which is just within view. So you can look at it and you can just see it there. And that's really all you can see.
Okay. Is there any kind of check I can do to see, if I can learn anything more?
You can do investigate check.
Okay. 4.
You spend, you probably spend 15 minutes or so just looking around. You don't find anything. This isn't something that the monks ever taught you to do. If this was a foe, you'd have no problem, but you're not quite sure what happened here.
Can't kick anything.
Yeah, you look around, there just doesn't seem to be anything. It seems like there was a random fight in the middle of nowhere. There's no tracks, there's nothing. It just looks like somebody walked out into the middle of the field and then was attacked by something, and then they were killed.
For a second before I kind of head out again, I just want to shut my eyes and just listen and see what I can hear and try and take in the surroundings. Almost like a meditation, like a light kind of, just see if I can extend my senses to see.
Yeah, sure.
If I can...
Give me a perception check. But it will count in the fact that it's more of a sense. 15. You breathe in slowly, counting the breaths, letting your world just know you've empty your mind. There is a sense that something unnatural was here. Something has disturbed the key and the flow of energy. Something that was created but is not natural. And you definitely get that sense that whatever did this is not natural. It's not part of the natural being. It has disrupted the flow of energy somehow.
It's not normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty much, I'd say that's, and just listening, again, all you can really hear is the chirping of distant birds. There doesn't appear to be any kind of birds like pecking things and stuff like that. There's no animal noises. There's just a faint rustling of the wind across the wheat sheaves. And that's it, really.
Once I open my eyes, I'd like to head towards the direction of the Kingswood farm.
Okay, so you're gonna. So that would basically have you come up past near towards the ruined manor, and then cut through the fields towards the Kingswoods.
Yeah, where 2 other people have been
Okay,
murdered.
right. What would you guys like to do? Currently in Le Tavern.
Yes. Shall we go and find Jiutou? I'm a bit worried that she's on her own.
We will. But
Okay.
is Soon still around?
Yeah, he's like kind of just sat there. He seems to be eating like an apple and stuff like that.
Can I talk to him telepathically?
Yes, you can. So what do you say to him?
I love that this is your thing. Now that you've discovered you
Now
can
I'm
do
just
this,
gonna
you're
stand
just
there
like,
being like,
Why are you staring at that man?
Yeah, like you don't have to look at the person as long as you know they're there and they're within range. You can be like, you can have a drink, or you could just sit down. You could be listening to a Laura talk, but you are also
You're going on.
yeah. You're just like whoa. Yeah, and you're just like occasionally you nod and like
Interesting.
that. Interesting.
one
Yeah,
time
what
I
do you-
met a squirrel and then we went...
What do you say to Soon? Because you would start the conversation
So
to
I'd
indicate.
say, don't be alarmed, Soon, but this is Trellamar.
He kind of looks around and you hear like, can you hear me?
I can hear everything you're saying.
What power is this? How are you doing this?
Oh, you don't need to worry about this, but just let me ask you a few questions.
Is this some sort of drow trickery? I've been told tales of your kind.
This-
I'm really enjoying this. This is brilliant.
It's no trickery. Just listen to my questions, and you just give me the answers that I seek.
Very well.
Straight to
Finny assures me that you're here to help us, so I suppose it is
give you
nice to
some
have a
fucking urns here, mate.
conversation.
Just listen to what I'm saying. Right. So, you seem a bit on edge, Soon. What seems to be the problem? Why are you so nervous?
My hearing is gone, but my eyesight is very good. I've seen the locals. They are becoming very agitated. I have seen some of them meeting at night. Thugs, the type burly farmers. They want to kill the drow woman. I fear that I might be next. Myself and Finny are the only non-humans here.
Whereabouts have these people been meeting?
I see them outside the tavern. When they leave, they joke in good spirits and then they stand outside in the dark just as it begins to get nighttime. I cannot read lips well, but from what I can gather they are planning and they want to kill the drow woman. They think she is responsible, that she has ensorcelled the men here.
What do you think about what's been happening? Because you have some vested interest in magic. Do you have any ideas as to what might be going on?
I'm just an alchemist. My knowledge is of chemistry and science, but there is definitely something strange afoot. From what Finny has told me, these people are called to by some force or being. I suspect that is why it has not tried to do anything with me. Being an elf, we are naturally resilient to such charms. Perhaps that is why I have been left alone. Perhaps this is why the drow has been placed as some sort of distraction, perhaps. But I don't know, I'm afraid.
Okay. Well, thank you, Soon.
Thank you, Trellamar.
I'll be in touch. Should I need any more of your help?
Yes, it is so strange to speak and converse with one that is not through the sign language. Thank you for your help. I'm sorry if I seem distrustful, but my people have long been told of your people's evils and such. But perhaps that is not.
Well, maybe if
the
I
case
can
for all.
help this town, then perhaps you'll start to see things a bit differently.
Yes, that is true. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So that happens.
Hello.
Yeah, you're like,
Oh, sorry.
and then
I was
suddenly,
miles
Laura's
away.
like looking at you like, have you been listening?
Yeah. Jiutou. Yeah, I think we should go and track her down.
Okay, so yeah.
Was there someone else with us?
That really
Yeah.
annoying
Now
noise.
that Trellum points it out, you do suddenly realise that you've not seen Cam. And he's not in here. He's not in the tavern.
The annoying noise has disappeared.
Oh, they love Cam really. They love him.
What?
I know you don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, well, that's true. Maybe we should find him too. Actually, but yeah, Jiutou went off on her own, and I'm a bit worried that she's gonna getting herself into trouble. She seemed quite adamant.
Are you guys leaving the tavern?
Yeah.
Okay. As you leave, you start to notice that there are a lot more people now sort of moving around. People have kind of clustered together. You kind of hear the locals chattering amongst themselves as you make your way, trying to track down Jiutou. Maybe you ask some questions of the locals, trying to find out where she is, but also you just happen to hear little smatterings of conversation as you go. I would like you to pick one of these cards.
Killed.
These represent some of the local gossip you might hear. You ran off on your own.
Cool stuff. They all got
So that is
stuff
something
in
that,
the
as you
dungeon.
are making your way, you overhear that. So you can read it out loud if you want to.
Okay. It's something to do with all the lost children we've been hearing about. A worried-looking woman sobs. I heard it's been happening for weeks across the country.
So that's it's just something, as you're walking, you just overhear that snippet of conversation.
Can I find the woman who said it and just sort of introduce myself? and
Give me
sort
a
of
perception
stop her?
check. Because there's quite a few people now sort of milling around.
That's a natural one.
It's like you're walking through and you're so distracted, you're like, oh, where did Jiutou go? Where did Cam go? You're looking around, you hear that, and then you turn and you don't know who said it. You're like,
Okay.
Again, it's just something you heard as you were brushing past. You
Hello.
make your way across. You move past, it maybe takes you like another hour to kind of make your way towards the farm. During that time, you go over a short hill, and you can see, maybe about 10-15 minutes away, sort of in the distance, this large stone ruined house. It looks to be almost completely destroyed. There's not really much left apart from the outer walls and maybe some sort of rough grounds nearby. And that's the ruined manor as you pass it. You pass through the wheat fields. Are you trying to find the killing site, or are you just going straight for the farm?
I'd like to go straight for the farm if I happen to.
If you happen to see
find it.
It's kind of tricky to just happen on, so you kind of weave your way through. And the farm itself, the Kingswoods farm. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to get to my notes. So, you make your way there. You just kind of go across their lands. You're kind of going through like thick, brambly branches, that separate the different fields that belong to the different families. And then up ahead, you can see a large farmhouse with a barn. You can see kind of like discarded farming equipment sort of lying on the grass. As you're moving through, like, you just hear the occasional caw of like a couple of ravens. You see a few of them perched in the trees, just kind of watching you as you move your way through towards the farmhouse. The door is open and ajar. There doesn't seem to be any sign of anybody around. What would you like to do?
I would like to. Go into the house.
The main house.
The main area.
You step inside the door. It just pushes to the side. You step in the floorboards. It seems incredibly still and quiet as you begin moving your way through. As you step into the main sort of like hallway, you can see just off to the side there seems to be a large family dining room. The table is set with what was probably a meal several days ago. It's now, most of it is mouldy or spoiled. You can smell it. It's quite strong. A couple of the chairs are knocked over. There's a couple of pewter and like ceramic glasses or mugs kind of tipped on their side. It looks to be left in quite a hurry. You can see various living spaces. There's not much furniture tossed around, but there is the occasional sign that something was knocked over. There doesn't seem to be any fights. You make your way through the house, checking rooms here and there, all in this eerily stillness. The floors just squeaking being the only real noise that you can hear. There are beds that seem to have been slept in but never made. The house is empty as such.
Can I smell any blood or anything like that?
Nope.
No signs of blood or anything, just
Nope.
an abandoned.
It just seems completely abandoned.
farmhouse. Can I do a perception check to see?
Yep, sure. So you're kind of like, you're trying to pay closer attention to your surroundings. 11. The only thing that you probably do notice is that there seems to be drag marks near the front door, near sort of one of the living spaces that drags towards the front door. Like very faint scuffing on the floor, probably made by leather boots dragging along it.
Okay. Struggling or?
You can't tell.
Okay.
You can't tell.
Is there anything that I can take as supplies, any food or?
You can check through kind of like, whilst a lot of like the fresher food has been spoiled, there is being farmers, they do have lots of things like jerkies and jams, preserves that you can probably take, pickles and things like that, pickled eggs, that sort of thing in glass jars. There's definitely, I'd say there's probably about 2 or 3 days rations worth of food that you could take that won't spoil.
Yep.
So you can just gather up like in a small bag. You find like a little small satchel bag that one of them had left on the side of a cabinet. You just fill it with like, a couple of jars of jam, some jerky and some stuff like that, and hoist it along. So yeah, it's about 2 or 3 days worth of rations. And then you're gonna leave, or do you want to investigate more?
I'd like to.
There was also, you remember there was a barn outside as well. That was separate to the farmhouse.
I'd like to investigate the drag marks, so backwards from the door. So they're leading towards the door, but I'd like to see kind of where, if I can ascertain
You kind of
where
go
they're
through,
going
and they do fade out after a while. It does look like you can see that there was like a knocked over chair in the path. Now that you're paying attention to it, it does look like as they were dragged, they knocked over a chair, like a wooden chair on the side. But eventually they fade off, and you think that they must have just been grabbed in one of these rooms and then rendered unconscious or killed or something and then dragged away. There's definitely no blood in the room. You don't see anything like that, so you figure it was probably more of a knocked unconscious.
Okay. Grabbed and knocked unconscious. Okay, I'd like to head out towards the barn house.
Okay, as you step outside the front door, it opens again. The wind rustles through the trees, and you hear one of the ravens caw. And as you step outside, you look up, and where there was only a couple of ravens on the tree, there's now dozens and dozens and dozens of ravens. Some of which are perched on the barn, some of which are perched on a fence, some on the trees, and they're all just watching you. And then it's then, in that sudden moment, they just fly towards you in a swarm and go to attack. I'm going to roll initiative. So I'd like you guys to roll initiative as well.
Okay.
Because you guys will get eventually pointed to the right direction. On my notes.
My new dice are really bad, guys. I'm just gonna put that out. You're out. You're gone now.
Okay, so you're gonna have to bear with me a bit. Sorry, Sam, if I knock stuff over. Alright, I might have to fix this up a little bit as well because it's been worn off a little bit.
What did you get? I didn't.
7.
I got 6. No, I didn't do much better.
You guys.
Well, it's not. You'll roll initiative for every raven that's attacking you.
1.
But I bloody won't.
3.
Right, so you have just stepped outside. So what was your initiative, Jiutou?
14.
14. I need to get my monster manual out.
Monster manual.
Fucking monster manual.
I was looking through it last night actually, so that I could see what the animals were that I could transform into.
Okay, Laura, what did you get on initiative?
7.
7. Trell?
6.
6. Okay.
You guys just boozing it up in the
Yeah,
pub, y'all.
So-
Yeah, just stay there.
The way that this works is, Jiutou had a lot longer time as she was investigating the fields. So by the time you went to look for her and got the directions from the
We're
marshal,
nearer to her.
you are almost,
Okay.
moments behind. But
Okay.
you are basically coming up just as she emerges and these things.
Handy.
So these currently represent swarms of ravens. They are bat swarms, but they will do for the purposes of this. As you step outside, you just see them all flap and just in a mass, like almost like being controlled, like they become spheres of feathers and beaks, and they just start flying towards you. What would you like to do?
I'd like to dive backwards in a roll back into the house.
Yep.
And try and kick the door shut.
Okay, give me, to kick the door shut, just give me an acrobatics check. So it's one of your skills.
19, 20, 21, 22.
You kind of spin around in a pirouette, you kick the door, slam shut, you land on your feet, you're easily within the building. Give me a intelligence check. So just you roll a d20 and you add your intelligence modifier. So what's your intelligence?
10.
So it's 0, so just give me a flat d20 roll.
19.
It's at this moment, as you land, you suddenly realise that at least some of the windows upstairs and the windows in the kitchen are still open. Like large wooden shuttered windows are wide open, and you're like, and you kind of remember that they're there just as you finish landing. So you've used your move. I'd say the closing the door was a bonus action, so you still have an action. You can move again if you'd like.
Is there any room that's sort of closed off that I can...
Not really, because these are like more fancy
Yeah.
farmhouses. There's not really interior doors unless you kind of go up to the bedrooms. Most of the living space downstairs seems to be more of a case of like, open plan very much.
I'd like to run upstairs, basically.
Okay, so you start running upstairs. So for the moment, we'll just mark you off on the stairs. You start making your way upstairs. Floorboards shuddering beneath your feet. That's when you hear the first wave, kind of like a slamming motion against the door, and then like thousands of beaks pecking at it. Hundreds of bang, 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 banging on this door. And then you hear a rush of feathers as something enters one of the rooms downstairs. You don't see it because you're currently making your way up the stairs, but you hear this rush of bird feathers just whoosh, flying into the room behind you. What would you like to do next? So you're running up the stairs. So that's one turn. And you guys get one more, and then you arrive. So you're currently rushing up to the stairs. What would you like to do? You can hear this pursuit of feathers behind you.
I'd like to run into the nearest bedroom.
Okay. So you run in, and it seems to be probably one of the children. It has like a smaller bed, a small trunk. Not much in the furniture, but it has like a door.
Are the windows open?
They are currently open in this room, yeah.
I'd like to push something against the door, like shut the door and kind of bar it.
Yeah, so you rush in, there's like a small bed and a trunk, and you push the trunk up against the door, shuts it. It doesn't seem to have a lock in place, but you push the trunk up. It's full of clothing, it's quite heavy. It would definitely take a little bit of force to try and push open.
And shut the windows as well.
Okay, so I'll say that you run up the stairs, you shut the door, you push that against it. I'll say you're literally just reaching for the doors, and that's sort of the windows, and that's the end of your turn. You hear more banging come from downstairs, and then outside the door that you've just shut with this trunk. I need to do. Oh, this is garbage. Yeah, you can hear almost like they're throwing themselves against this door. These ravens are just bashing against it, and they're doing nothing. You can just see the door shuddering ever so slightly, but they don't seem to be having any sort of effect. On your turn, you shut the windows. What else would you like to do? You're currently in this room.
So I'm holed up in here, and there's 2 flocks of seagulls. I wish. I would like to. There's no there's nothing I can do really thaumaturgy-wise.
You could just prepare. You could just wait.
I would prepare. Yeah, I want to
Just in
get
case they
prepared.
burst
So
in.
I want to kind of back to a wall, stance ready, weapon ready.
Okay. Sure.
Trying to kind of track them and get the initiative if I can.
Okay, so Elora and Trelemar, at this point, you've kind of probably heard just a door slam in the distance, and then you've basically emerged from a tree line. So we do have a mini for Trelemar. So you've kind of burst out into this tree line, and you can now see this farmhouse, some of its windows and doors, the windows open, the doors shut, a barn off to your side, and you just see this swirling mass of ravens just pecking and banging on this door, swirling around each other. You know that there are occasionally animals will swarm together like this to attack predators, but it's very unnatural.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
So I probably have a reasonable idea that she's in that building. If people are, if the
You saw the ravens
animals are-
back trying to get at
If
something.
something's pissed off, I'm generally in the area.
Or Cam.
Yeah, true.
I think I would like to go up to where the. I'm just wondering if this is going to be completely futile or not, but Can I do that from this distance? I don't know. Yeah.
You are currently about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30,
30
35 feet away from the
35.
ravens. About 40 feet away from the building.
Get involved, guys. Get stuck in.
Get
just
stuck
Some
in.
birds, innit?
It's just some birds. That's all it is. Just birds.
Just birds.
Just one of them birds.
Feed them some bacon or something.
No, bread.
I
It's
would
like
like
seagulls,
to.
mate, blow up. Oh no, what is it?
Rice.
Rice.
Rice. Feed them some rice. Get them to blow up.
I don't know if I'm going to have
Don't
to
do
move.
that. That's really bad.
I don't know if I'm going to have to move to do this, so you'll have to let me know. I'd like to cast Speak with Animals,
Okay.
so I can do that for 10 minutes. To speak with animals, but I
Speak
don't
with
know.
animals.
It doesn't have a range.
It's probably it's within range of what could naturally hear you.
Hey!
Mark's trying to think what's his raven flock voice.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've got that. Please. So speak with animals. It's first level, so it's one action. Range self 10 minutes. You gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts. Knowledge and awareness of many beasts. Blah blah blah.
Mine.
Okay. Yeah. So you can cast that on yourself. That's your action. You've got your movement and bonus action. You reckon they'll be able to hear you if you shout at them.
Oi!
Oi! What are you doing?
Some of the ravens kind of like they're swirling around. They start laughing. Kill more! Kill more!
No, please don't do that.
She makes us! She makes
Who's
us!
she?
Kill them!
Who is she? Who is she?
The one with bones! They just start cackling away. It's like a cacophony of voices. It's like all of them kind of like, interspersed with the laughing. One or two voices will say something out and the rest are kind of like laughing. Some of them, call out in different sort of tones.
Right. So I still have a bonus action.
Mm-hmm. And a move action as well.
And a move. So they're not listening to me then.
Well,
So-
you've just called out to them so far. You've not attempted to purposely persuade them or scare them off or anything like that. You've just kind of gone, oi, what are you doing?
I want to try and scare them and intimidate them.
Okay.
And try to say, do what I command. Stop what you're doing at once.
Okay.
I want to do that.
Okay.
So
you just say that to them. So give me an intimidate check.
Oh god, intimidate. For fuck's sake. The dice today are terrible. So that's a 4.
And so you're like, oi, birds!
Stop it!
They just some of them they fall silent for a moment, and then a voice calls out amongst like all of them. It just calls out like, "She won't give us much food for the elf. Kill elf. Kill."
Oh, for fuck.
You are loving this way too much, dude.
And it is on that. So I would say that's probably your bonus action. You've still got to move. Would you like to move? Carol behind Charma, perhaps?
I'm smaller than him. No, I'm not going to move. I'm
just
going
gonna
to
stay
stand
where
my
you are.
ground.
Okay. It's at that point that the swarm at the door turns around and begins flying
Thanks.
directly towards you.
You're welcome.
I don't know what you said to them, but you've pissed them
They
off.
didn't like it.
No.
They seem to fill up the whole space, like all this just massive birds swirling around. And also they occupy the same space as you, so they're kind of like,
Yeah.
they surround you. They're like in your hair, they're pecking away at you, and they're attacking you. 24
That'll
to hit.
hit.
Yep, I thought it might. I rolled a 19. Oh, I love it. Shit. So you take 9 points of damage.
Oh my god.
Christ. Good job you got that potion.
Yeah, guys,
Bloody hell.
I'm not gonna lie.
Good job you leveled up.
Right.
That's true. You haven't used a wild shape yet as well.
I know.
So they start.
I was deciding what.
You
whether
just
to do
feel
that or
these
not.
like tens, maybe 10, 20 beaks just pecking away at your flesh,
So you
like
say
tearing
9?
chunks of it away. 9 points of damage. Yeah. Just, like, just surrounding you, just like gnashing away. Trellamar, what would you like to do? You are next. You see this happen. The thing is, as well as now, you can't just target them. They are around Elora. Like, it's very difficult to try and strike them without possibly injuring Elora as well.
Lol.
Oh, crap.
He's too happy. I know. He's too happy being a raven.
Too happy.
Did you like piss Mark off recently?
No!
I didn't know. This is like, I just wrote what happens if you go to this place, and this is what happens. So, what would you like to do?
Could I cast a minor illusion to distract them, to get them
Okay, yeah.
off
Well,
there?
like, what would you like to create an illusion?
I don't know.
Fucking something scary.
Yeah, but it's only minor.
What would scare birds?
A cat.
A big cat?
A big cat.
Sure.
Tiger.
Tiger.
So
tiger.
You conjure an illusion of like some sort of like big cat animal, like you probably, I guess, as a drow, panthers and things like that you probably would know about, so you can conjure this image. You can't make it sound like one, but you do create the visual image of something like prowling and stalking. What is on your spell sheet? There should be something called spell save DC at the top. On your spell one, your third one. That one you got there?
Oh yeah, 14.
So that's what I have to beat to cast your spells.
Yep.
So they're going to try and realise that it's not real, effectively.
And he'll roll really well.
Which I did. I rolled a 15.
Shit.
They seem to be momentarily distracted by it, but then as a few of them fly through it, and they can see that they can fly through the creature, and then they seems to realise that they're not doing anything. You've still got your movement. You've still got a bonus action.
Am I able to reach in and pull Elora out of harm's way?
I'd say you can do that, yeah. If you want to try and pull her away, they would get like a free attack against you. So as you kind of lean in, shield her, and try and pull her away, and then you can drag her with you, and they'll get a free attack against you, but they might miss.
Yeah, go on, let's do it.
So
I'm feeling gallant.
Thank you.
Well, it's a good job you are, because it's 17 to hit you. I'm assuming that hits.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's only 6 points of damage. So
Okay.
they start pounding it. But you drag Elora. Where would you like to drag her? Towards the house?
Towards the barn, perhaps, because that house is already getting bashed in by birds.
So I'd say you two get to about there. You can only move her about half speed because you're pulling Elora with you.
Okay.
And you begin dragging them off to the side with you as well. Jiutou, you now hear the sounds, what was probably once outside the building. You hear an elvish cry of being attacked. And you hear that they are no longer pounding on the door. Mm-hmm. The ones who are outside the room are still trying to get in, basically. What would you like to do?
So in all of that, do I hear any of the kind of like when she was speaking to him or anything like that?
Yeah, you would have heard Elora speaking. Like, you hear Elora's voice. Oi, what are you doing? Obviously, you just hear loads of like...
Yes, I don't hear them. Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering if I could do any... I was wondering if I could do any tricks, like pretend I am the one with bones, but I guess not.
Well, you could do. You could try it.
But how would I know, though, if I don't?
Well, you don't. That's as Jiutou, you could try and come up with something. You might be able to guess it, but yeah, like you kind of have the thing of like you don't know who this person is that they're referring to, but you could try. Doesn't mean you can't do it. It's up to you. What would you like to do?
It's just whether or not they can burst through the door. Might just set it on fire. My answer
When in
to
doubt.
everything.
When in doubt, burn down an innocent farmer's house.
Well, they're already gone.
You don't know.
Yeah. No, she's like,
I like the way you maintain eye contact while you're drinking your Coke. Like, it's kind of a bit uncomfortable.
That's why you do it. DM tip: to maintain eye contact. It puts them off.
really
What would you like to do?
Go to bed.
Can't do that in the game.
I would like to, because the problem is, I don't know.
What would Jiutou do?
What would Jiutou do?
In
She would
this
attack.
situation?
She would attack. I just don't know whether or not I would try some kind of deception or just attack. Oh, they're just birds. I'd attack them. Screw it.
So are you going to
But
open
the door is closed.
Yeah, you've got the trunk in front of it. You close the windows, but it's not it's probably about a 10 foot fall. So you could probably open it and jump out.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well.
In fact,
But I don't know if I'd be able to kind of move towards them and help them.
yeah, I'd say you're at the sort of a front-facing window. Yeah.
I just wave at you at the window. Oh, hi
I mean, you can see, yeah, I'd say as you move up to the window, you can see through the slats that you can see Elora and Trelemar being attacked by this other swarm.
I'd like to just say that I take a second to roll my eyes.
Hey, we're trying to help.
Yeah,
Badly.
Looks like you really are. I imagine that there's something in the barn house, so
Yeah.
I'm going to. Okay, can I light a torch and drop it by the door so it kind of the door catches on fire?
Yep.
So that if the birds come through, they have to go through it's kind of screaming fire.
Yeah, it would take a bit of time, but there's a trunk with clothing in there.
Yeah.
You light a torch. I'd say that's a bonus action. You plonk it down. You throw it at the door. The trunk. You can see it starting to burn away at the wooden top. It will take a little bit of time to get going, but you reckon it will set ablaze effectively.
And then I will jump out of the window.
So you pull the shutters open. You dive out. Give me an acrobatics check.
19.
You leap out through the windows. You pull your arms up, and as your training as the monks taught you, you land. You forward into a roll to take off the blow of the fall. You take no damage as you land. Woof! As you land out there, you can see Elora and Trelemar there getting ready, and you can see this swarm turning around, ready to drive back towards them. That's your first move action. You've already used a bonus action. You still have an action left, but you're not currently within striking range. You could take another move action. You could do things like dodge, which means that if anything attacks you, it has disadvantage and stuff like that. You can do that as well.
I'd like to take the dodge action. So
yeah, because you don't need to, because you only spend a key point if you want to do it as a bonus action.
Yeah, but this is
whereas
within
it's a full
my...
action. You can take the dodge action, which means that anything attacking you has disadvantage, but you can't make any attacks this turn. So you do that. So you kind of form up into a defensive position. You get the Guandao out, spin it around, get into position. Elora, what would you like to do?
Please feel free to stare at me in wonder as I.
You do watch. You watch as you can see like the flicker of flame starting to come up behind it. These windows burst open. Flying out of them comes Jiutou, robes flowing, tail whipping behind her, hair flipping in the air.
Nice.
Lands straight into a roll. The Guandao's out as part of the roll. She spins it around and forms up into a position. Yeah, like that.
Ready, bitches?
Yeah, cool. I want to become a direwolf, please.
Okay. So
I'd be like, oh, that's cool. Watch this.
Do you want to pass me the money? So, and this is a bonus action for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bonus action.
So, Elora, for those of you two watching, you see her kind of close her eyes for a minute. She lets out a breath, and then her body kind of lurches forward as her form begins to transform. Her hair seems to merge into her body. It becomes fur, bristling purple and blue fur, spreading all over her body. Her face elongates into a snout. Teeth razor sharp point out as she becomes a large wolf, massive, the size of a horse kind of deal.
That knocked me over.
And yeah, almost knocking you over. You kind of whoa as she just kind of hunches down into this form, and your bestial senses come alive. What would you like to do? So you've got your stats for direwolf there.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So you've got a move and your action left. You can see the swarm just in front of you.
So because it's a swarm, there's not really anything. There's nothing to target, really.
You can fight it. You can fight it. Yeah, you can fight it. Yeah. It's harder. You reckon it will? Do you count as magical? I don't think you have that yet, do you, as a druid? No. I think you get that later on.
I don't know.
I'll check.
Okay.
But what would you like to do? Let me check. You can figure out what you want to do.
If I went round the other side of the swarm, would it then be flanking? Because
No.
Not close enough. Oh yeah.
But you have a thing where if
right.
you have allies next to you, you do get advantage.
Right. Which I do. Right? Not right next to me though.
No, not next. It has to be next to the target. That's the thing.
I would like to bite them. I think.
I'm just trying to see if combat will shape. No, you get it as 6th level primal strike. So for the time being, your blows do not count as magical. So you kind of step forward, and you start gnashing into these ravens. So you can make an attack roll. I'm guessing that was not good.
14.
Yep, that hits.
Ah! So it's 2d6 plus 3?
Whatever that says, yeah.
And they have to make a DC save or they're knocked prone. Does that apply to a swarm?
They are
of
immune
things?
because they're flying creatures. They cannot be
Damn
knocked
it!
prone.
Oh well. So we're 10 damage.
Wow, yeah. You chomp in. They do take half because they are a swarm. So you kind of chomp in. You start biting away, and you're killing like individual ravens just with a single bite. But they're just dropping to the floor, and the mass is still there, swirling around. It seems very difficult to kind of injure them as a whole. That is your move. That was your action. That is you done. The swarm surrounding you, it kind of merges in with your square, and it just starts pecking away at you. This time with a 14 to hit.
Just hits me.
Just hits. Yep. Because you and your direwolf from a different
direwolf.
AC, yeah. So you take 5 points of damage as they peck away. The ones up in the house, you can hear some commotion up there, squawking, calling, but nothing seems to come out of the house just yet. They seem to be something is going on in there, but you don't realise what. Trelemar.
Hello.
Hello. What would you like to do?
I'm going to blast them. Eldritch blast them.
Yep, sounds good. So you kind of summon the energy,
Yeah, just try
blast away. Okay. D20 roll.
Ooh.
Good roll.
15.
15. Yep, easily strikes. Because your magical blast, you know that you can't just strike them individually, so you just wide blast. This energy beam launches out. You deal normal damage to them. So roll your damage. So it's D10.
Oh, D10.
And because you got your
Which one?
agonizing
Oh.
blast, yep, that one.
Yeah.
You get to add your charisma modifier to this as well, so you get to add 4 to this.
Oh.
3.
So plus 4 is 7. So your blast, half of them are just blown away and
Yeah,
disintegrated
brilliant.
by purple energy. Just several of them squawk and caw, but it just half of them are annihilated immediately.
Nice.
That's how it's done.
And they just
Hey, I was
absolutely-
getting there.
You can move if you like. That was only your action.
Let's keep heading towards that barn.
So you get to there, and the doors are shut. These big, heavy, wooden, tall doors. They're shut. But
I don't wanna go
as
to
you
the
get there,
I think I
you
know
can
what's
now
in
see what looks to be blood coming out from under the door. There just seems to be like a pool of
shit.
blood.
I think I know what's in there.
Jiutou.
So they're still alive.
They are still alive. Yeah, they seem very badly injured. There's only half of them are remaining.
Okay, well, I'd like to run over there.
So.
Maybe vault over the direwolf.
Hoo-yah!
Oh, Heather.
I won't even make you do a check from that. 'Cause you just kind of leap over it, like, what is it? Vaulting over the wolf. And you feel the muscular form beneath its purple fur.
Nice shoulders.
It's very soft. Yeah, you launch over, weapon at the ready.
And I swing.
Okay.
And I go to bed.
Okay. Make your attack roll. So you're just attacking with a guandao, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's a 16 plus. Is it dexterity?
So it's on your middle and that little bit there. Down.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So your
Guandao.
guandao will be there.
Plus 5, so 16, 17, 18, 19, 21.
Yeah, easily hits. You just swipe through them. So you do damage. So your guandao does
D8
plus.
3.
Yep. So D8. So D8 is like the pointy. No, other one. That one. That's the 8-sided one.
8, 9, 10, 11.
So it is half because your weapon is just striking like individually. You're normally used to fighting a single opponent. You're only cutting through half of them. So you did 11, which means you do off another 5. So let's put some down to that. Again, you're cutting through and you're killing individual birds, but the mass is still there, writhing away. They seem to be very flustered and they're there. Do you want to make a free bonus as action with your unarmed strike? You might as well.
Punch one in the face.
Yeah, you're literally just like lashing out like a spinning circle kick. So this is with unarmed strike. So it's a D20. So it's a big base. And then unarmed strike. Probably another plus 5.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah, so this time you strike out with a kick, but there's so many of them you just don't quite purchase on any of them. You kind of just kick through the swarm, and it doesn't seem to have any sort of effect. Elora. So you bite again. Yep,
Yeah.
go for it.
That was a 16, so it'll
Yep, that hits.
hit. 9 damage.
9 damage, takes half again. So there's literally only a few left now, perhaps 5 or 6 or 7 of these birds swarming around. There's just corpses, dead birds all around you, just covering the floor. But again, you're just gnashing through them, but you can't deal with them all at once, so you're just biting through. I'm guessing you don't want to do anything for move or bonus action.
Unless I can just like...
No.
No.
Can't do that. The swarm, the few remaining, seem to take attention away from you. Let's try and strike you instead. 8 to hit.
Got 14 armor class.
So that means you'll deflect them off. You spin the guan around. You're like keeping them away from you, spinning it around so they can't ever get close enough without risking being hit.
Nice.
You drive them away. However, bursting from a downstairs window come the next swarms. 10, 15.
Are they on fire?
And they go towards Trelemar. So it does appear that there is less of them than what there probably should have been. So they would have taken, say.
Flaming birds fly out of the window. Oh my god!
So yeah, there's a lot less of them than what there should have been, but they swarm out towards Trelemar. Ooh, natural 20. So they dive at Trelemar. So that is 16 points of damage as you are just engulfed.
Holy God!
You are just engulfed by these birds. They peck at your neck, at your throat, and you're just desperately trying to get them off of you.
But does he not get a strike at them?
Because they moved into his attack range. It's not moving out of the attack range.
Is this
are you
the
still
end
alive?
of Trelemar?
Are you still up?
No.
No.
No. So what you got? Is it? Oh, really? Because what hit points were you on? What was your
7.
He was on 7.
Oh, because you'd taken damage
Yeah.
before, hadn't you? Yeah. So you dropped down to, that was 16. So you dropped down to negative 9. And you currently, so you watch as Trelemar kind of like falls backwards as he's just surrounded by these birds. I rolled a crit. Rolled a crit. Can't be helped.
What a dick.
Look, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. So it would be Trelemar's go. So this is the first time.
What would you like to do?
So
Sneak out quietly.
So this is something called a death saving throw. So what this is
Holy
every
shit.
round you make these. It's just a d20 roll. You don't add anything to it. So you roll a d20.
Right.
If you get 10 or higher, you
Really
are
bad.
okay. If
Right.
you roll a natural 20, really good. If you roll 9 or under, you get 1 death strike. If you get 3 death strikes, you're dead. If you take a critical hit while you're unconscious, that counts as 2 death strikes.
Oh, right.
And if you get hit, you take a mark as well. So basically, you don't want to get hit when you're down, and you have to make these each time. So roll a d20, 10 or higher is okay. And if you roll a natural 20, even better.
13.
13. So you don't, you're kind of like, you're unconscious, but you're kind of covering up your wounds. There's some semblance of consciousness to you, kind of like covering your wounds, like desperately trying to shield your face from these birds.
Fucking birds.
Yeah, just like absolutely swarmed around you. Jiutou. So you just watched as this gulf of things just swarm around him and just, they peck at like his face and his neck. Epic music!
Can you finish off these ones? Okay, I'm gonna go vault over.
The wolf. Arr, arr, arr.
Please
I'm gonna
do.
vault over and help. I'm gonna defend Trelemar's
Okay.
unconscious body.
So if you move away from them, they get a free attack against you.
Oh,
But
really?
you have a thing with your key points. You can spend a key point
to dodge
to
it.
do as a bonus action to disengage,
Oh,
which
do
means that
that.
they don't get an attack of opportunity against you. But that means spending a key point. But they do come back when you take short rests.
Do that.
Okay, so you spend your key point, you leap away, ha-cha! And instead launch into the next load. So that was your bonus action, so you've moved, so you just get 1 attack against these birds.
Unless I spend another key point.
That's true, yeah.
20.
Natural 20, you critically hit them. So what this means is you roll damage, but your dice damage, so the d8, you double it. And then you add your modifier to it. So high roll good.
High rollers.
High roll!
Yay! Ding, ding,
Ding,
ding!
ding, ding, ding.
3
So double that, so it becomes 6.
6,
Plus-
7, 8, 9.
9. As it's a critical hit, they would normally take half damage, but for a crit, I will say they don't. So you kind of swipe through, and you kind of conjure almost like a gust of wind with your Guandao as you strike. With a little bit of ki, you just managed to knock several of them sort of flying. So that was 9, wasn't it? Yeah, you kind of just demolish half of these birds, just knock them unconscious or dead, all fall to the ground, really badly injured. Elora, you'll go.
Save Trellamar.
Hashtag save Trellamar.
Hashtag save Trellamar.
Hashtag save Trellamar again.
Yeah. I need to do the same thing again.
Hashtag get Trellamar better armor.
So I'm going to try and finish off the ones that are still here.
Finish him! Finish birds! Might be okay, these don't seem that hard to hit.
No, it was a 9.
9 altogether?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, you start chomping away, but these birds seem to think...
God damn it, you two! I have to carry your sorry asses again.
However, the birds fighting you seem so badly injured that they are going to try and escape, so you get a free attack opportunity against them.
Ooh. That's better, that's a 15.
That's going to hit. 2d6, that's 3.
12.
Okay, you tear into the few remaining birds that form the swarm and just knock them to the ground.
Good.
That was in their turn, but however, these ones, sensing a new threat, they turn on you.
A new challenger approaches.
9 to hit. Again, you're just knocking these things out of the way, you spin, you jump and leap through the air, definitely avoiding them.
Ain't nothing.
That was my first natural 20, guys.
That was like your first natural 20 ever in... Well, there you go. Yay! High Rollers Episode 3, Kim's broke her crit hymen.
Oh, dude!
What? Well, you know what I
That
mean?
is
Like,
so seedy!
it's pretty bad, isn't
That
it?
is
It's horrible.
horrible.
Cut this out. Cut it out. Cut it out.
We can just edit that out, right?
Don't put
that's how
this-
Stu is.
I'm not
That's
putting that in the
how
highlights. We're not going to put that in the highlights.
Anyone who puts this in highlights or tweets me this, you're getting blocked.
Yeah,
Getting blocked.
that's fair. I should be blocked for that. I can't help it as the first
Get
thing that
out,
came to
walk
mind.
out the ring, Mark.
Bad.
Trellamar, you need to make another death saving throw.
Oh god!
This is, you have to make it every round.
Shit.
Believe
Roll
in
high.
Trelly.
Roll high.
Believe in Trelly.
Yay!
16.
still
Again,
alive.
you don't get worse.
He's
You're
okay.
still there, but until somebody does medicine on you, or you roll a natural
Somebody
20,
save me.
you are not stabilised.
I'm trying to
Kill the bird.
fight them off. Jesus, give me a second.
I know how. What's the
Could you
name of
bleed
the woman
less
who was
on
in
my
the
slippers?
birds?
The one in the birds.
Oh yeah,
I
what's
can't
the name?
remember.
Oh,
There's definitely an element of that.
I'm her.
Yeah, I am
No,
feeling
no.
that right now. Yeah.
Jiutou.
I'm going to attack.
Okay, you attack again, swirling the Guandao around.
13, 14,
That's gonna
15,
hit.
16, 17, 18.
Yep, that's a normal hit.
8, 9, 10, 11.
11. No, this is halved because they take it, so 11. That's 5. Oh my goodness. You there's like 2 birds left. Like, you just cut through, just a frenzied strike of things. Would you like to make a bonus action unarmed strike?
Hashtag save
Are they
Trelly.
definitely dead? Are they?
There's like 2 left.
There's 2 left.
Yes, it looks very
Punch them!
close.
Punch them in the face!
I will punch these birds in the beak. Hold on a minute. Trellamar, could you stop bleeding on my shoe, please?
Just
Like,
just
bit of
leaks
sick
out.
coming out. 16, 17, 18, 19.
That hits, so you do an unarmed strike this time. So check the damage on your unarmed strike because it will be slightly different. So punch.
D4.
So that is the pyramid one.
That one.
That one.
What number?
That's top one
1,
plus.
2, 3, 4.
Right. So you swing the Guandao around, you cut loads of them down, you knock several onto the ground, and then you just sweep round with one final roundhouse kick, which just knocks the last 2 birds. Just bleh, breaks their necks, they fall down and are destroyed.
Okay.
Trellamar is still on his thing.
Oh.
You've done your action and bonus action to attack, so you can't help. Elora, it is your go.
I would like to toddle over to where Trellamar is. And can I...
Are you going to try medicine in wolf form?
Yeah.
Right.
Gonna lick
No,
his face.
I'm not.
Okay.
Please
I'm-
don't. Don't waste it.
Just
Lick
dribble
his
on him.
face.
No, I don't want. That's not helpful at all.
Okay.
Can I, in my wolf form, take the little vial?
No, unfortunately, your vials are all merged with your form, so they are not something you.
No, he's got one.
I've got one.
Oh, did you exchange
Yeah,
one?
we.
You can try it. It's very thin glass vial.
Oh, fine, I'll become a human again.
So
Boring.
bonus action, you transform back into Elora. And you're going to feed him the potion, or do you want to do medicine?
No, because I'll feed him medicine, the potion, because medicine will take him 8 hours to get back up again.
Yes, potentially, unless you want to use healing spells and stuff. But yeah, okay, so you're going to use the healing potion?
Actually, no, I'll cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay.
I'll save the potion.
So it's
cast Cure
D8
Wounds.
plus wisdom modifier.
Am I doing that?
Yeah, sure spell.
D8.
I only roll it if it's like potions and things like that.
I didn't know if he did it or I did it.
No, you did it. Sure spell. D8, yep. Plus wisdom modifier.
6, 7, 8, so 9.
So
you
you
heal
go
9.
from 0 to 9. So you're currently on 9 hit points. As again, you look up, a very familiar sensation of we've been here before, as Alora's kind of looking down at you like, oh, come on. This warmth fills your body, and you return to consciousness.
That was good.
That was good.
Twice now.
We're going to take a quick break, literally just a 5-10 minute toilet break. We're not going to do like last time and end up taking a 25 minute break.
We had to level up last time.
We had to.
That's
so
why.
we're just going to literally do a quick toilet break. Sam, if you can sort that out, or Sam or Steve. We do have Steve back with us in the office. Yay, Steve.
Yay.
So if you guys could just do that, we're just going to take a quick toilet break. Again, thank you very much, guys, for if you've donated in that so far. I'm going to try and read them out at the end again. And yeah, we'll be back after this really short break. See you in a minute. Bye.
Bye.
Simon.
Yep.
The new YogLabs employee manual's here, and I think it could be a good idea if I go through some of it with you, you know?
Sure. What's with the music?
Well, it's been proven in tests that music helps people take in information, especially if they've just been cloned.
What?
Don't worry about it. Just covers the basics, you know. Brainwashing, thought control, a cafe menu.
Cafe menu?
Simple stuff we all need to know, yeah?
Alright. Cool.
Welcome to YogLabs, the home of innovation, where the only limit is your limited imagination. But sometimes things can maybe get a bit out of hand, so we've got a plan that you need to understand. Page 4, don't ever disturb the certificates while they're working.
Oh, I might have already done that, because Mamju got out, and I was...
Page 7, don't ever go in that room that has the black door on level 3.
Why? What's in there?
Don't worry about it, it's fine.
Ignore the death row.
So, you still with me, Simon?
I think so, but Lewis, there's something bothering me.
Good to hear it. Let's carry on, shall we? Here in YogLabs, we pioneer technology.
From robot girlfriends
to goldfish bigonometry. So if you're feeling sick or experiencing anti-gravity, it could be either radiation or a ripped space-time reality. So page 13, if the microchip in your neck starts to itch, don't scratch it.
Microchip? The hell, Lewis? Ow!
And on page 18, in the event of incoming missiles, please head to the bunker.
What? Missiles?
Don't worry about it.
Come with me to YogLabs, baby. We really care about your personal safety. Don't worry about the time travel. Paradox, ignore that. Triceratops.
His name is Steve.
Lewis?
Yeah?
I'm a little bit worried.
It's all under control. Don't worry about it.
Don't really know.
Well, sacrifices must be made to achieve world domination. It'll all be over soon. Don't worry about that abomination.
No, that's it. I've had enough. I'm going to put a stop to this.
Simon!
I'm not doing what you tell me anymore.
Andrew, stop it!
Mandrew and I are out of here.
Why is this microchip not working?
You're not the boss of me.
Simon, I told
I'm
you!
not going to do what you tell me anymore. See, I'm going to push this button,
No,
and there's
don't press
nothing
that
you can
button.
do to stop
Don't
me.
press it!
Oh.
Come with me to YogLabs, baby. Only one fatal incident lately. Initiate the rebuilding. Photocost effect. Enjoy the show.
phone. Simon?
Hello.
Oh, the new YogLabs employee manual has arrived. Would you like to take a look?
I am a dwarf, and I'm digging a hole. I am a dwarf, and I'm digging a hole. La 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 la. Da 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 do boo boo boo. Dum de dum de doo doo. Dum de dum de dum poo 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 wee. Wee 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 poo 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 doo boo. Boo 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 boobs doop 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 doops doop 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 boobs.
People of that law, raise your voices for the national anthem. God bless Dadloff, our proud and sovereign land. All rise for Dadloff, its power will withstand. Glorious nation of Dadloff, so lovely and so free, with bountiful resources like gin, moustaches and tea. For goodness sake, make no mistake, we've had troubles in our past, but don't forget we're still a threat and our culture's unsurpassed. God bless Dadloff, our blessed land of pig. Noble leader of Dadloff, his brain is very big. People of Dadloff, raise up your swords once more to defend the precious motherland. We will go to war. We may be small, but we'll fight them all until the very last man. And some will say we've had our day, and we sure could use a hand. So please help Dadloff, their armies are on the shore. We admit we're a little bit shit, and we can't fight anymore. People of Dadloff, you have served me well, but today it is our darkest hour. We must fight to survive. Fight! Fight on! Dadloffians, block the swords with your bodies and hold them back! Block them, men! Fight for your honor and fight for your country! Dadloff will hold! Dadloff forever! Remember, sweet Dadloff, its legend will live on. Our lands they take our heads on stakes, but our hearts beat ever on. Remember Dadloff.
trees and mountain heights, and saw a moon so blue. They told him dwarves can never fly so high. They laughed and said he'd fail if he tried. He left his home and his life behind, his dream burning like a rocket inside. So strap yourself into the rocket now, rocket now. Watch as the countdown seconds tick by. Hope and pray that you'll make it now, make it now. You'll never know if you don't try. Strap yourself into the rocket now, rocket now. You got your friends right by your side. Final checks, then you close your eyes. You dream about it like a rocket inside. You dream about it like a rocket. You dream about it like a rocket inside.
To high rollers, thank you very much for sticking with us through the break. Just wanted a quick loot. Couple of really quick things that I forgot at the start that I remembered. Firstly, thank you, good old Barry boy, for the new layouts and stuff like that. What are you laughing? What's going on?
We were stuffing our faces when you restarted.
It's a coconut Oreo, and it's really bizarre.
Oh wow!
Do you want a grape gummy?
What's that?
It's like a chewy grape sweet.
Sure.
So yeah, thank you to veteran Barry for doing all of the cool
Thank you.
overlays, which you can see there. So yeah, I want to say that. Also, again, I know we don't read them out during the stream, but we will read them out afterwards. If you guys do want to donate, it does really help. It helps pay for things like Steve, and just make sure that we can cover stuff. It's going to help me buy like cool minis and stuff in the future as well. So if you do want to do that, that's really, really helpful, guys, and we really appreciate it. And yeah, those are just a couple of things I remembered. So, we last left things off. Trelemar breathes life back into himself, returns to the land of the conscious.
Again.
Thank you for
Laura
saving
stands
me.
over him.
Again.
It's fine.
And you
It's okay.
stand before this wooden barn, and now that combat's finished, you can now see the pool of blood, which you can see just ever so slightly trickling out from the barn.
Wow.
I kicked the door open.
Okay, no hesitation.
It's not locked in any way, but
Rebound slightly on my face.
give me a strength check, as it does not normally open inwards.
Okay, let me just go gummy.
That would be hilarious.
So this is just a d20 plus your strength modifier.
11.
11. Jiutou kicks with a hard force. The door shudders inwards. You hear cracks and splits, but it does not open. And that is when you guys do probably notice that it is an open outwards. Yeah.
So I managed to kill everything, save everyone's asses, and I get defeated by
Doors,
a freaking door.
Well, not defeated, but you did try to kick a door that opens outwards, inwards.
Can I just go over it
like-
while after she did that and just like gently pull the door open?
I'm going
and
to
look
stand
at her
there and
while I do
ignore
it?
all of you.
Are you there like, oh, it's locked, it's just
No, I'm
impenetrable?
I'm just silent and blank as ever, and I'm just standing there, watch you, but just ignoring everyone, just drinking my tea.
It just opens up, and the first thing is there is a very heavy sense of death. Blood, body decay just hits you almost instantly as the door opens. Fully kind of like immersed. You kind of realise now you probably did slightly smell it before, but it really hits you as you open the door. Inside is a very gory, very disturbing scene.
Excellent.
There is obviously a family that have been what appears to be kind of picked apart almost. There is a human male, his body kind of strung up. You can see ropes tied around his wrist, hung from like the rafters of the barn. His interior, his chest cavity is basically empty. Ribs are missing, there is bone missing, there is entrail and gore dripping down from his stomach. There are bodies of his wife and children, not strung up in some sort of way, but very similarly, there are pieces of them missing. There are things like bones and eyes and organs all taken.
Oh, I think I know where this is going.
It is very, very, very gruesome.
Okay. That's not very nice.
And that is what you instantly see initially.
Bitchin'.
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 I think the sugar is...
Hit you.
And the tiredness. The sugar and the tiredness.
It's combined. So that's what you see in front of you inside this barn.
Lovely.
Okay. Laura's gonna start to walk in. Wait, can I just perception check to make sure there's nothing living in there?
Yep.
While she rolls that, can I ask a kind of gameplay question?
Sure.
So, like, as this is all kind of going on,
Everything's fine.
Me as Kim, the player, has kind of possibly figured out what could have happened. Does that mean like Jiutou, the character, can?
You can
know?
certainly your character will have suspicions. Like unless you're doing things like, I've read in the monster manual that certain monsters use body parts like this to make blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I know it's a blah blah blah. That's called metagaming.
Yeah.
You can't. The thing is with you and as a new player,
I've not
you
read
can't
it.
really
You
do
don't
that
know.
because you don't know.
Yeah.
So you're making assumptions as Kim, but those are based on the information I've presented to Jiutou as well. So based on that, what you think as a theory, Jiutou
can present.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Like unless it's basically whenever you're using outside game knowledge to affect in-game knowledge, that's metagaming. If you are basing it on everything I've shown you only based on what you've seen in-game, that's cool. Like, you can use that.
Okay.
So, that's how it goes. What did you get in your roll?
Natural 1.
Natural 1. The sight of this is so horrific, you actually really struggle to look at it. I mean, there is an element of being sick, but also just the act. Like, this is violent and brutal and sickening, and you just can't, like, especially things like looking at the family, like the teenage children, you can't look at this. This is too horrifying.
Okay. I'm just gonna stand by the door and go.
Yeah, you can turn away. Yeah, so would you guys like to do anything else? Or?
I have a theory.
Okay.
I visited one of the kill sites earlier, and there was a tremendous amount of blood on the floor. And judging by the missing organs that we see before us, I wonder if perhaps someone is constructing a creature, a monster, using these humans' organs. When I was at the kill site, I sensed something quite unnatural. There was something that wasn't meant to be that killed the human.
I spoke to the crows. That sounds like I'm a crazy person.
Ravens.
Ravens. I spoke to the ravens, and they said that they had to kill for her, for the one. Is it the woman of bones? They said.
Yes.
Lady of bones. Woman of
They
bones.
said the woman of bones. Yeah.
They said they had to kill for the woman of bones.
Is she trying to rebuild herself? Maybe she is a skeletal creature. Perhaps she's trying to kill people to steal their organs.
The marshal
Reconstitute
mentioned that
herself?
there was a local legend of a cursed boy who experimented on his family and turned them into mutated beings before he died. He killed himself and they died. Perhaps there's something of that in this local area. I mean, I don't necessarily believe in human folklore and myths, but there's always something that has a seed of truth in these stories. Perhaps someone is using these villagers to reconstruct themselves.
I'd say it's a fair guess.
I
be
think
honest.
we should go to the abandoned farmstead.
So we could probably realistically say that you made a rough copy of the marshal's map when he presented to you like the local area, and that means that I'll share this map. Oh, you did, look at that! You actually did.
I actually drew
You
it
do
all
actually did,
out.
but
There
it's
it
fine.
is.
We'll share this so you guys can have a look at this. So this is kind of the local area around
So where we are at the
Tallfield.
moment is
So
here.
you are at the Kingswood farm. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's
That's
a lot
the
of
town.
death around Kingswood
That's the
Farm.
town. That's Tallfield.
And this is where all the deaths happened.
Yeah, anything with an X is where the deaths happened. And then there are a number of local sites of interest that the Marshal and Jiutou noted as well.
Is that old windmill on fire?
No. There was a shard embedded
Oh,
into it,
okay.
a large crystal shard.
I thought it was Frankenstein from
it.
Is that from
It's
the
not on fire.
Lightfall?
You would assume so. Judging by the picture of it, it seems similar to the descriptions you've heard of fallen shards elsewhere. They did often drop into buildings and towns and things like that.
It was the abandoned farmstead that the Marshal mentioned this ghost story was based.
Okay.
Do we know anything about the ruined manor? What was that
I
about?
walked past it, but I didn't
You did
go
not. You
anywhere
don't
near
know anything
close.
about it. If you go back to town, you could probably ask people.
What time is it, by the way?
I would say, so you guys left quite early in the morning, probably around 10, 11 a.m. You were out for about 2 or 3 hours, so you're kind of approaching just after midday, sort of 1 p.m. time.
Okay. So we still got daylight. We could go to the abandoned farmstead. Is everyone prepared for that? Is that
Yeah.
okay?
I'm fine.
I'm sure I can survive.
Yeah, your wounds ache a little bit. You've been healed, but there is definitely lingering aches and pains, and you know,
picking feathers out of
yeah,
places.
exactly, like feathers everywhere.
Really
and-
hating nature.
Yeah, fucking birds.
Really
the
wanting to
bird's
go
fault.
back underground
Yeah.
where there aren't any flappy things.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go, I think.
Okay. Shall we make our way to the abandoned?
Did you guys want to take a short rest before you head off? So
How
that's
long
about
is
an
a short
hour.
rest?
So it's about an hour, but you can regain hit points. You can like heal yourselves a little bit.
Get my key point back.
You can get your key point back.
Okay, let's take a short rest.
Okay, so you guys take a short rest for an hour. So what this means is, this is the first time we've been able to properly do it, is you all have something called hit dice, which is basically your level, but in your hit point dice. When you take a short rest, you can choose to spend up to however many hit dice you want, and you roll them, add your constitution modifier, and you heal that many hit points back. So for example, you have 2d8, I believe.
Yes.
It's on your next
I
to
think
where
we
your
all
hit,
do.
just below where your hit points are. Yep. I just want to show it so Matt learns.
You should have 2
That's
there
really two,
because
though.
you've leveled
Yeah,
up.
because you've leveled up. So you
Okay,
can
it'll be
spend
1d8,
2. Every time you
right?
roll one,
1d8.
yeah, you get to also add your con modifier, but I don't think you have a con modifier. So Constitution, it's your main 6 stats on the side.
So you get your d8 plus your
con
constitution
modifier. Yeah, so you've got a con mod. What's your con score?
11.
11. So you don't have one. So for you, it's just a d8, and whatever you roll, you heal that many hit points back.
Okay.
Every time you spend one.
Right.
And you can spend both, or you can spend one. You can spend one, see how you do, and then spend another one. It's really up to you.
I'll do that.
But it's a good way of like just healing yourself up after a fight and stuff. Add your con mod. Roll the 1.
Is that a D8? Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
d8 is like the pyramid one. You didn't
I'm gonna
have any
spend
take
2.
any damage, did you? But you did get a key point back.
4, so 1, so that's 5, 6.
3.
Okay, so you get 3 hit points back.
9.
So you could spend the other one as well.
So
if
I
you
get
wanted
9, so I healed just to full.
to. Cool. Do you want me to pet 10?
Oh.
That puts me up to 12, so I'm almost full.
What's your maximum?
12. 13, sorry.
13 is your maximum. Oh, yeah, 1 point. 1 hit point.
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
Okay, so I've spent those.
Okay.
Fine.
So that's about an hour. So about 2 o'clock, you begin making your way towards the abandoned farmstead, following the rough notes that Jiutou made in her map. It takes you a little bit of time, probably about an hour travelling across the field. So it's about 3 p.m. when you arrive. The farmstead is surrounded by quite thick woodland. It seems to have been in the middle of a small copse of trees. And as you begin pushing your way through, you can see that it has become very overgrown. It's not ruined like the manor that you bypassed. You walk past the manor. You can see it up on the top of a hill. You get pretty close to it, probably only 5 minute, 10 minute walk away. It seems to just be stone walls, not much else. A couple of little grounds, remnants of what might have been once been statues, but the rest of it just looks to be a very old looking ruin, effectively. You guys pass that, and you make your way to this farmstead. The farmstead doesn't look that old, perhaps maybe 10, 20 years, 30 years most. So it's overgrown, ivy crawls up along the side, some of the roofs collapsed in, but in general it's still mostly there. And as you get nearer, again you get this very eerie sense. Something's not quite right, the hair on the back of your neck begins to tingle and stand up. you get goosebumps along your skin. The wind rustles through the trees. There's no animal noise. Despite there being quite a lot of thick woodland here, you'd expect to hear kind of woodland creatures, or at least plains creatures. There's not really much of that. There is just nothing. There's still silence. You make your way through, and you can see the farmstead just ahead of you, basically, just crawling, overrun with stuff.
That's ruddy mysterious.
I don't like the look of it, guys.
How many ways in are there? Are there ways in?
You can get around, you can walk pretty much around the perimeter of the house. There seems to be a front entrance and a back entrance. There is an old barn, but that's pretty much all but collapsed. It's now really just a pile of timbers, kind of collapsed on each other. So there seems to be 2 entrances in.
Okay.
And there's just a very eerie stillness
Question.
about it. Yep.
When I come out of direwolf form, do those hit points automatically just go back up?
For the direwolf
For the
form,
direwolf.
yes.
Because that's a new transformation.
Yeah,
you
but
said.
your Elora still had
Yeah,
damage.
gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
yeah, there's just this very old-looking, overgrown building just sits in the middle of this kind of little tree wooded area. And it just doesn't feel right.
I'd like to go in the back entrance.
Okay, Jiutou moves around. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to follow Jiutou, or are you going to go in the front?
Where are you going? Where do you think I'm going?
Fine. I just follow.
We can't just stand out here all day staring at it.
I'm going to go up to the front door.
Okay. So you two go around the back. Shalimar goes up to the front. So
I'm glad I have someone who thinks along my wavelength.
It takes you two take a little bit longer to go round.
I'm going to end up dying now.
You move up to the front, and you kind of poke in. The door it's shut. You test it. It's stiff, but it's not locked. So it takes you a while. You just kind of have to heave. You can see that moss has grown.
Not a very subtle entrance.
You just push it open ever so slightly. It eventually comes through and you pull it open. And you look into a very dark room. Light obviously spills in through broken slats in the windows, through the door that you've just opened. And it just looks like a farm in ruin, really. Furniture is long broken or rotted away. There is plant growth growing up through parts of the floor and through floorboards and things like that. Everything has a very old and abandoned feeling to it. And as you start moving through, that's when you're connected to certain things, arcane powers that the others don't really understand. You can feel the residue of strong arcane energies that would have once been here. They're long since dead, but they still has that taste on the air that you can, magic was here, effectively. So that's what you're doing. You can give me a... No, not just yet. You two go around the back. The back entrance seems to have long actually fallen away. The door is actually lying on the ground, fallen apart, and it seems to lead into what would have probably once been the family kitchen. Again, really overgrown, vines and plants growing through it, curling through the windows and things like that. And as you step in, again, you kind of get this very unnatural feeling to it, but you see coming down from a corridor, which seems to lead up to a pair of stairs that goes up and down. There seems to be a stairway leading down. You just see a very faint blue, soft glow.
Where is the glow? Just in the air, or on?
Yes. Well, it's illuminating a hallway. I'm going to try and vaguely draw this. See if I can. So, if you imagine it like this is going to be very rough. So, front door, back door. This is like kitchen. This is all kind of like broken and stuff like that around here. So we currently have Trellamar stood by the front door. I apologise for my really crap drawn thing. You two are currently stood around here. So yeah, you can kind of see down into this corridor. You can see it splits off. You can see banisters, so you know that there is a stairway here, and you assume that there is a similar sort of stairway going down here. The doorway next to you is currently shut, but you can just see broken slats through it. And again, you can see this very soft blue glow, and it seems to be coming from the upstairs part. There's just a very soft blue glow flowing and gently drifting down. In front of you is what probably would once be a living space. Most of it's ruined and just crowding a very messy looking room. What do you guys like to do?
Is there any kind of a check I can do for that blue thing that I would know what it was, or?
You could do an Arcana check.
What's my Arcana?
Anybody can do that.
20.
20. Definitely magical. Likely spiritual.
Okay. Interesting.
7.
Not sure. It's a magical.
It's a light.
It's a magic
17.
It's brilliant.
So it's clearly not natural. There's definitely energy to it that is not normal. But again, you're not quite sure. It's really, you're the only one that would really know. It's definitely more spiritual than arcane.
Okay.
A spiritual monk.
Okay.
But with a check, it's more like you know it's an energy form, but you can't quite discern what it is.
Okay. So I'm gonna tell Jiutou. It's a spiritual blue light. I can feel spiritual
Don't
energy.
Just look at something. It's not relevant.
Okay. I don't like finding out.
Well, yeah, I have to check something.
I can feel spiritual energy coming from the upstairs in this house. So I'm just saying.
Give me a perception check. Trelamar.
Oh shit! Trelamar's gonna die again.
5.
You thought you saw something, but you trigger the light, like the glow just disturbs you slightly.
Okay.
What are you guys doing?
I'm just gonna open the door. See
So
what's
into the second bit.
Yeah,
You
see.
open it up, and as you open it and step out, the glow recedes upstairs, like it dissipates.
God.
You see though, what looks to be like a sphere of light just bobbing, and it drifts up the stairs.
There's a
It's
reverse
like
slinky
it's
going up the stairs.
It's
glowing.
like hovering in the air. Just
What
a
is this
sphere of-
slinky you speak of?
Everyone loves the slinky.
But not in this universe. Not in this realm.
How do you know?
I've not seen one invented.
Maybe he invented one.
What
Maybe
dwarf?
Yeah.
Is that what you're known
Trelamarr
for?
made
Yeah,
the slinky.
that's,
Is that what
that's
you're-
my secret.
Is that what you got kicked out of Drow World because
I
you
invented the slinky.
No one understood it. It was a
Yeah.
bit weird, a bit useless, and people were like, get out.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess we want to make our way into the back as well. Yeah.
Oh, screw this. What would Jiutou do? I walk upstairs after the light.
So
I'm bored.
you
of
didn't
this.
you didn't see the ball. You just saw the light.
You just saw the
retreat.
light.
I follow the light.
Okay, so you
Okay.
two have gone in there. So the light, you see it just bob up and round a corner, and I'm guessing you guys follow it kind of from what your actions. You just start heading up the stairs. As you start heading up the stairs, this light seems to kind of drift back into the view and then vanish.
Cool story, bro.
I don't like it.
I'm gonna carry on going upstairs to wherever the upstairs leads me to.
Okay. You make your way upstairs, and you find again a lot of the floor now seems very uneven, and it does seem structurally not great. You begin making your way through. You're checking rooms. Again, it has that overgrown feel. It has a very empty feel. Nothing seems ruined. There's no blood. There's no damage that you can see. Again, it just looks like nothing happened here, really. The beds have long been stripped of anything. There's really just the wooden slats left. It just looks like an old abandoned house. But as you're moving around, the orb pops back into experience, this time downstairs with you, between you two. It seems to just
This
hover
is
for a
like
moment.
Total racism.
Disappears. Yeah,
guessing
you're
its
off exploring
senses
upstairs.
are-
The tiefling
It
never gets
appears
anything fun.
by the stairs
not
leading
magical.
down and drifts downstairs.
Angry?
It drifts downstairs
What,
now.
is this like a basement?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a basement.
Seems to be leading into a basement.
Ooh, let's go into the basement.
Oh, great.
Okay. I guess. Come. Is it dark down the stairs?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Very dark.
Very dark. Okay. So.
Can I light a torch and toss it down the stairs?
Toss it down the just set everything on fire.
They're wooden stairs.
Oh shit, maybe not then.
It's back. No, they are wooden stairs. There's definitely a stone basement. You can see stone walls as it gets to the underneath the house, but it is like a stone steps leading down. You can probably try and, if you get down a bit further, you can probably throw it onto the floor.
I'll just light the torch.
Okay, just light the torch.
Yeah, can I stealthily move down the steps?
You can. It's a bit difficult carrying a torch, but yeah, you can make a check. I will just take on penalties for carrying a light source with you.
Okay. 13.
13. So you begin creeping your way downstairs. Trelemar, you watch as he starts drifting down, like carefully keeping the torch, peering down as he goes. What are you doing?
I'm gonna sort of. Is Jiutou? Are you still upstairs?
Yeah, I'm still wandering around upstairs, being
Upstairs.
ignored by the school thing.
Jiutou is currently upstairs.
I'm gonna try and whisper up in the staircase. It went down here.
Okay.
Basement.
You hear a very faint voice saying that.
And then I'm gonna stealth down by.
Okay. Give me stealth checks. Right. Don't do anything for now. I'm gonna come to you in a minute. 6. You begin creeping your way down. You hear this coming from the person following you. It's just like every time it happens, it just makes you wince. You guys go down, and eventually the basement seems to lead downstairs into a small stone room. There seems to be definitely signs that this wasn't just used for storage here. There is a desk. There looks to be what might have once been a bedroll or something down here as well. A shelf hastily attached to the wall with faded books all attached to it. They don't seem to have been taken either. There seems to be... this area seems to be untouched. Around the desk and this bedroll and this shelf seems very untouched, strangely.
Okay.
What do you guys like to do?
So we've got the light in the room,
Yeah,
so
you
we can
see.
see.
Yeah,
we can
you
see
the
well.
whole room. It's not very big. It's maybe about sort of 40 feet.
Okay.
And this is all in one far corner. As you can see, this desk, tipped over stool, what would have once probably been a bedroll on the floor, and then this shelf with these books.
All in the same area.
All in a corner, like little.
Nothing else in the rest of the room.
The rest of the room probably has like splinters of wood, fragments of probably what was once like barrels and stuff like that, but nothing else.
Nothing else. Can I make a perception check?
Yep.
See if I
Perception.
see.
You can give me one as well, John.
14.
Or an investigation for you.
I'll do an investigation. What's that? 9?
That's
11 then.
11. What did you get?
14.
14. With your 14, you look around. There's definitely something in the air around the desk. You get the sense that there might be little strands of power or something. You get the feeling that there is something, perhaps some sort of magical protection or like a ward there or something like that. But you also notice that there, part of the desk, there definitely seems to be a drawer that's slightly open as well. As you guys are doing that, you're kind of looking at this and watching it. You're kind of exploring the upstairs. You hear Ilora whisper, and then a few moments later, the ball floats up in front of you.
It's not being racist anymore. Okay, so I'd like to stare at it. I'd like to just move my hand and see if it kind of, I don't know, reacts in any way. Like just to kind of...
Nope.
Like if it mirrors me or anything like that. So it's just floating in front of me. Okay. Any kind of perception check or anything like that?
You can make perception to what you're trying to find.
Just understand what it is.
If you want to understand what it is,
Or can I
you could give me a arcane or a religion check.
Might as well roll for it.
Might as well. Just see if you recall anything in the back of your memory.
2.
You have no idea what this thing is. It's a ball of shimmering light. And it just bobs there, just
Okay.
ever so slightly bobbing away.
Okay. I'm going to try and talk to it.
Okay.
Hello there.
Bobs a few more times.
What are you? Are you the ghost of the boy? Murdered any parents recently?
Bob.
Are you
harmful?
I think that's the point where it would be. As you say that, the ball bobs one more time, and then you don't really have time to react to it, but a crack of lightning launches out from it. 11.
14.
It does have you surprised, so it does have an advantage. No, even worse. Even though this thing takes you by surprise, like you hear the hiss of the air around it as it, and you leech to the side as this arc of lightning just ignite, like hits the wall behind you, sparks. You can see it sets part of the wall on fire, just blasts with energy. I'm gonna have you roll initiative.
Would we have heard that from?
Yes,
We
and you
would
guys
have
are gonna
heard
roll
that.
initiative as well. Oh shit! Where's my stuff? I opened a nice little thing.
Oh, they're green.
7. So
Good for one. You're rolling so bad tonight. I rolled good this time.
Trot's rolling amazingly. You don't even have any hands.
Elora.
No fingers. 19.
19. Trell.
7.
7. Juto.
18.
18. Elora, you hear come from upstairs.
Okay. I'm gonna run towards where the sound was.
Okay.
Knowing that Jiutou is upstairs.
Okay, so it basically takes your full turn to get up the
there.
stairs, go across, get up the stairs. As you get up the top of the stairs, you can see in the hallway, you can see Jiutou basically, just as the moment, like, she kind of reflexes as this ball, you can now see it sparking with lightning. As a free action, I'll say you can make an arcane or a religion check.
Natural 20.
Right. With the natural 20, now that you've seen this thing crackle with energy, it's suddenly, although you saw it before, it's suddenly like, you realise what this thing is. You just, the stories that you've heard stories of will-o-wisps, undead spirits that are attracted by despair and doom. They are very evil. They tend to attach themselves to places where sorrow has happened, and they are malevolent spirits. They normally try and lure people and separate them and lure people away, and then they attack them. It is quite powerful.
Oh.
You've heard these things often lure travelers like to swamps or bogs and then kill them. Sometimes they try and lure them into traps. Sometimes they just electrocute them.
Powerful enough that I would want to run away from it? And get us away from it?
You don't really know. That's the thing that you won't necessarily know just from like a knowledge check. Like, you have just heard that these things are quite dangerous.
Okay. So it's spiritual.
And that was as a free action. So Jiutou, you don't know that per se. So this thing's just like tried to blast you with lightning.
I was hoping it was a fun ghost I could speak to.
Sadly,
Definitely not. So it's not actually. Sorry, it's not actually a spirit of a certain person. It's an actual entity of its own.
It is malicious. It is malevolence taken form. It attaches itself to places where sad things have happened, and then uses that to lure people to their deaths.
Yeah, and the sad things that happened are probably in the notepad in the basement.
What would you like to do?
I can't decide whether
It's
to
right in front of you.
attack or to run away.
What would Jiutou do? What would Jiutou do?
I think we know.
Well, then that's what you
She's
do.
a bit of a dick.
That's what you do.
Do it.
Roll that 20.
I don't know whether or not to attack it though, or try and grab it with my hand.
Oh.
Because why not? It seemed to work with a tree.
Yeah, you can try. What are you going to try and do? You trying to grab it?
Yeah.
Okay. So make me an athletics check.
18, 9, 20, 21.
Even with a really good roll, you go to grab it and your hand just passes through it. It seems to be incorporeal. There's resistance there. You feel like you could definitely strike it with a weapon. It definitely, but it's like the spirit of the Elven Queen. Like, there is not substance to it. You can strike it, but you don't reckon normal weapons will work very well.
And it didn't enjoy a bit of a tickling there.
No. It was just like,
I can't tame it. Can I still attack then?
Yes, I will say you can, but no bonus action this turn.
20.
Natural 20. So you hit.
2 natural 20s!
That's 2 natural 20s. So you hit. So roll your dice and then double it with the Guandao.
D8.
D8 is the kind of that one. Yep, looks like it.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried because I'm on my own down.
Investigate the stuff.
That was what I was going to do. I'm probably getting
2 plus your.
Trot! 3, 4, 5.
Okay, it's halved, unfortunately.
What?
Floaty ball of doom, no.
Yeah, you strike it with a Guandao, but again, the blade just slices through it. You definitely felt some resistance as your blade swiped through it, but it's very difficult, like, you're not quite sure how much you affected this creature. Its go, it basically passes through you to get away from being between the two of you. It literally goes through your body. Like, it feels very strange. It kind of tingles you with energy as it's still kind of crackling with a bit of lightning, but it just passes through you harmlessly. As it gets onto the other side of you, it turns around and again charges with lightning and goes to blast you. That is a 15 to hit.
I got 14.
Okay, this thing time it strikes you. That is 9 points of lightning damage as it blasts you.
7, 6, 5, 4.
You feel this blast of lightning just strike you in the back. It almost lurches you forwards with its blow. Trelemar.
Oh, man.
What would you like to do? You're currently the boss man. You can hear these blasts of lightning and cries coming out from upstairs.
The handling that.
Okay.
You still leave us?
I get killed every 5 minutes, so
I'm not going to go near anything that can kill me.
Because I'll probably just walk into something and die. I'm going to
He
go
trips on a floorboard and falls unconscious.
Yeah. I'm gonna go over to the desk, the bookcase area.
Okay. As you get towards it, you put your foot down as you step towards it, and that's when you feel there is some sort of magical thing that was around it, and you feel it, and that's when it blows you off your feet backwards.
And you die.
You need to give me a dexterity saving throw. So
saving throws
throws
right here.
this one. Yep.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So make one of those.
Fuck.
Natural 1.
4.
You are blown off your feet. You are knocked back, possibly like 20 feet in the room. You take another 4 points of damage.
Oh, for God's sake!
As you are blown off, and you land prone on the other side of the room.
Jesus Christ.
This pulse of energy just boom, knocks you back.
Ow.
That is Trelamar's go.
Would we heard that as well from upstairs?
Yeah, you hear this.
We heard that. Oh.
And this,
My back.
you hear slump.
I know how you felt when you were sleeping last night.
You've still got that was only your move, and then it triggered, so you could stand up as your thing. You can still move again.
Yeah, can I like stand up? And dust off my dirty coat.
Yeah. You have a feeling, obviously, being a bit of an arcane practitioner, like there is obviously some sort of defense there that you would need to remove to be able to get closer.
Right.
That's probably why it's been untouched. Elora.
Okay. I've heard a lot of loud, angry noises happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna shout, "Everybody out!" and run out of the building. As far as I can get.
So you were upstairs, so you probably get just outside of the front door, which is still open.
I said everybody! And
So that's
it.
your full turn. You
That's
just
it.
run.
We have
I'm
to
running.
wait for our turns.
Jiutou, this is all happening at once. So Elora's like, run, and bolts.
I follow her.
Okay, you can use a bonus action to disengage from the creature, otherwise
Yes.
it'll get attacked. So you do that, and then you spend your turn running away. So
Is that spending a key point?
yes, that would be a key point to run, to disengage, and then you full action run, move, run. And that will pretty much put you at the same point, just outside the building.
Later.
The ball, you don't see what happens to it, because you've run.
I don't care.
You've done that.
Don't look back! Just run!
That's what it'll do. Okay, Trelemar.
Yeah, I'm just gonna come down and be like.
What are you doing, Trelemar?
What are you
It's your
doing?
turn. You
heard me
stood up,
shout.
you're like, your back's aching, but you dust yourself off. You hear Elora shout. You hear 2 people bolt out the front door.
I'm going out the door as well.
As Trelemar runs up the stairs.
Oh, for God's sake!
As you crest the top of these stairs, that's when you notice. I don't really have a mini for this.
For God's sake!
Well, you see the orb literally waiting at the top of the stairs. And as you run up, you have just enough time. You can either carry on and it will get to try and blast you. You can run past it and it will get to blast you, but you could get out, or you can stop and figure something out. What would you do? I would say maybe there's like an old window here, but it's currently shut. You could try and dive through it or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, so give me an acrobatics check.
This is where you just
I'm just gonna fall and trip on the stairs.
Lands on
break
a
my
nail.
nose. Fucking hell.
What did you roll?
4. Oh, and +3.
+3, 7. You run and yeah, you jump, but you don't quite get your shoulder into place, and you just kind of like smack your head on like the side, like the top of the windowsill, and you just knock down to your feet.
For someone who looks so badass, I am the shittest, clumsiest person.
The dice are uncommon.
It's like I found someone else's gear and like, yeah, I'm gonna be cool.
Maybe that's your backstory, is that you're not really the hero, you just found his
I'm not actually Trelemar.
Yeah.
I'm his brother.
Yeah.
So you bounce off this thing. I'd say that's your move and your bonus action. You could cast a spell, you can do something if you'd like to.
Can I blast the thing?
Yeah, you can do what, Eldritch Blast?
Yeah.
Just
oh my god.
Anything.
You've got your other spells as well, don't forget. We haven't got your cards, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Do you want to? I can open them on the page here.
What have I got?
You've got Arms of Hadar.
Arms of Hadar, Hellish Rebuke, and Hex.
Yeah. And you can cast 2 of them before you have to rest.
Yeah, I can't remember what Arms of Hadar was.
Well, it's all alphabetical in here, so if I just get Arms of Hadar up, and then it's all alphabetical from there. So Arms of Hadar is on the bottom, but it's all alphabetical, so you can look up the others as well.
Okay.
And you can cast 2 of those per rest. So Arms of Hadar is like you launch a force out from you, and it knocks stuff back.
I think that one sounds nice. Knock it back.
The other one you have is Hellish Rebuke, is when you get damaged, you can do damage back.
Okay.
And then Hex is you do more damage to something over time, so you put out like a curse on it effectively, and you do more damage against it. Arms of Hadar would probably be the best one in this situation.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so...
Arms of Hadar it.
Okay, let's have a look at what this says. Do you want to read it out? See if you've got it there.
You invoke the power of Hadar, the Dark Hunger. Tendrils of dark energy erupt from you and batter all creatures within 10 feet of you.
Yep.
Each creature in that area must make a strength saving throw. On a fail save, a target takes 2d6 necrotic damage and can't save.
Can't take reactions until its next turn, which is good.
Yeah, on a successful save, the creature takes half damage but suffers no other effects.
So what this would mean is basically you blast out in a 10 foot around you.
Yep.
If it fails its save, not only do you do damage to it, but like for the next turn, it can't take reaction. So if you try and run past it, it doesn't get its free attack against you and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So are you going to cast that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I make my strength saving throw, which I fail miserably.
Good.
So you do 2d6 damage.
Right.
It is half because it is resistant to necrotic damage. So 2d6, which is normal dice. Yeah, cubes. And then the back one. So you roll those. Add them together.
5.
So it takes 5 halved. 2.
Is there no modifier on it? It's just 2d6.
It's just 2d6, yeah. But it does it to everything, so it's normally used as an AoE. But it can't. It seems to. It's battered back by purple light and all these purple tendrils kind of knocking it around. But it doesn't. It looks like it won't be able to try and attack you if you try to run past it, for example. So that was Trelamar's go. Elora, your go. You are just outside, and you can see now that Trelemar trying to dive through, but his route between the door and is being blocked by the creature. It's currently between him and the door. I would say as well, your spell probably blasts out the shutters of the window. So it blasts all the shutters out. Like you just see this force, purple light, just explode around Trelemar, and all these shutters splinter and like fly out. So that's currently open to you as well. So you can probably just dive out of that without having to do any checks.
So the windows are all open now?
Yeah.
Would we have seen his spell?
Yeah, you see like purple light just go around him, like a sphere of tentacles. Just.
That looked like Trelemar, right? Is it possible to reach in the window and pull him out?
You can try. Yeah.
What would I have to roll?
Strength.
Oh, frick. Oh, 17.
17, yeah. You move up to the window. You just feel a pair of arms wrapped around your waist and just pull you through the window backwards.
You've saved me again!
You just literally, I mean, you're not a strong person, but out of fear, you just, we're going now, and you just pull him back. You're pulled through. Bit of your coat just gets torn on like the jagged wood.
My coat!
As you pull him back and you pull him a few feet away.
Yeah, just as far away as we can get.
Yeah, so like with that, you kind of just managed to pull him away.
Is that my action or my
that would
That's
probably
everything.
be everything. Like
Okay,
to
yeah.
do that and pull him out and then move. So you guys go. Jiutou,
Yeah, I'm running.
you're just gonna run. Take it. Are all of you just gonna book
Run
it?
towards
basically?
town.
Peace out.
I think
Okay.
towards town.
Yep.
Town.
Well, so
Maybe?
this is what I was thinking. So obviously there's a plot to kill the drow. So we could go back and investigate that.
I think so.
Or there's the Green Family Farm, which is the other farmhouse that hasn't checked in. So we could find more there.
I think go to town, report what we've saw.
Yeah.
What
It's
we've
probably
seen so
coming
far.
to evening.
Yeah.
We can talk to
Then-
someone about
yeah.
the ruins.
Yeah.
And
So
I would
It's
just
about,
like
it's
to.
about 4 o'clock.
I would like to heal
Yeah,
up.
before it gets dark, we want to go back to town.
Okay.
We want to go back to town.
Sure.
And heal
Right, you guys book it towards town. Like, you're not sure if this thing, how far this thing can chase you. From what you know of will-o-wisps, they don't tend to follow too far. They'll stick to the
area
that they've
yeah.
kind of connected themselves to.
Okay.
Once you kind of get towards the edges of town near the wheat fields, you're pretty sure it's not following you, and you slow down to a walk. Deep breaths, kind of like, oh, that was close. The you just feel this arc of pain still down your back. You can see it's quite red, like her dress is very torn as this lightning's just dashed it to pieces. And you make your way back into town. As you get through the gates, the two militiamen are like, oh, it's you. Oh, welcome back. They open it up and they kind of like let you through. They're like, quick, you should come in before it gets dark. You shouldn't be outside. And as you enter, as you kind of come in, now you can see, you begin making your way back. Where are you heading in the town first? Are you going to go to the marshals? Are you going to go to the inn? Where do you want to go?
Can we have a general look in the centre just to make sure that the drow...
She was taken to the marshal's
She's in the
office,
So yeah, we'll go there.
Okay, so you make your way to the marshal's office, and yeah, as you kind of round a few buildings, some of the freestanding houses there, you can see that there is a very large group of very angry-looking men, some women as well. And they have things like clubs, bits of wood, farming sort of like, forks and stuff like that, burning torches, and they are currently trying to get in. They are banging on the doors. You can hear them shouting different things. You hear one woman shout like, "It's worth the risk. If I have to be a murderer to save my children, I will." Some of the men are just like, "She's ensorcelled the reeve. She's ensorcelled the marshal. Kill her! Kill her!"
I at this point I'm quite hacked off. Like
Angry Jiutou's
I'm quite pissed off. I just want to rest up. I've had enough of this human drama. I'm gonna push my way to the front of the crowd and I'm gonna turn and face them.
They're just like, "Oh, demon!" Oh, they're like, "Get out of our way! We're gonna save this town."
And I'm going to say, listen to me, humans. We have been investigating what is happening in your village, and I will tell you now, this is not the work of a drow. If you come here and you harm her, I will give you something to worry about. Jeez.
Give me an intimidate check with advantage. So you get to roll twice to hit the highest.
Well, intimidation.
Intimidate, yeah. But advantage, so you roll to hit the highest.
Well, can I do like a little thaumaturgy cantrip as well?
Yeah, you can, yeah. So you kind of like, your voice booms out like
A little bit of glowing.
little bit of reverb, the eyes glow. So what was your highest roll?
12.
12. I'll give you an extra bonus for the thaumaturgy. A lot of them back off, like instantly. Several of them step away, like clearly in order of you. There are three men and one woman in particular who stand a bit more firm, and they're just like, "How do we know that you're not working with her? That you're some sort of demon? That you're killing our people as well? Like, how do we know we can trust you?"
Trust me, if I was killing your people, you would know about it.
there's still that standoffishness. What are you doing?
I want to walk up to her as well.
Uh-huh.
And I'm guessing that we look pretty battle scarred up at this point.
Yeah, well, especially like you like. I mean, it's more they can't see the wound, but you're just fueled with this rage, and like almost like 70% of them have backed off and won't go near Jiutou. They're just like you can see them that some of them have dropped their weapons, some of them have just kind of put them behind their backs or like stepped away.
I want to pull Trelemar along with me, so
Okay.
that we're all in front of them.
Like the as you pull Trelemar, the 4 who were kind of stood a bit stronger, they're just like, there's another drow. You're working together.
Say, do you really think that we would be injured and taking this damage for your town if we didn't believe that this person was innocent? If we thought it was her, we'd be here dealing with it. This drow has proved himself worthy and almost died in the process.
And I broke my coat.
And he broke his coat.
Give me a persuasion check, but advantage.
So 14.
14. They do. The 4 kind of they don't back off. But there's definitely they've lost a lot of their momentum that was driving them to action. They've kind of now they're very suspicious. They're very upset. You can see that like at least like one of the men and the woman with them is like got tears in their eyes, and their knuckles are white where they're gripping these kind of makeshift weapons. They're frightened, but they don't want to give in. They're just like, we've got to. You feel that this is born out of frustration.
Yeah.
That they are desperate to do anything to stop this happening. And the 4 don't seem to back off, but the rest of them have now pretty much stepped away from it. But these 4 in particular just seem desperate to have some sort of resolution.
I go to the woman who's got tears in her eyes and just put my hand on her arm and say, we know that you're suffering, but we're doing our best to help you here. We can't leave this town either. We don't want to see this be unresolved.
It's just how do you know that you can... I mean... What's doing this? What's causing this? They took my husband. Like, he was one of them that died. How do I know it's not her? How do I know it's not you?
Well, I'm sorry for your loss. From what we've seen, it's a source of magic that's doing this.
We're just simple folk. We don't understand why this is happening. Please. And like the woman definitely just at that point she just drops. She had like a skillet in her hand and she had like a kitchen knife in the other, and she just drops them and she just kind of like falls into you and just starts crying, and that just the 3 men just lose it at that point. Like they just drop their weapons. One of them, who was the one who was talking to you, you can still see there's anger in his eyes, but he, for the betterment of everyone else, he kind of just steps back, folds his arms, and just kind of steps back and keeps an eye. But you can just see now that the crowd has just... You've stopped any further action that they were going to take. And she just kind of... She sobs a few more times, and then she kind of stands to herself, and she's just... I'm sorry. We're not bad people. Please understand. We're just scared.
We understand. We want to talk to the marshal. We want to tell him what we've discovered today. And then hopefully from there we can figure out how to fix this.
Please don't let anyone else die tonight, please.
We'll try our very best.
They all start to move away. She kind of like takes a few deep breaths and then heads off as well. And you can see that the crowd just kind of disperses effectively. The marshal kind of like, you can see him kind of like creaks open the door. He's like, "Guards, you guys came. The guards you came when you came along. They were about to bust this door down," and you can see the door was on its bare hinges, about to be broken in. And he's just like, "Thank you. What did you find? I heard you saying that you had found some things to report."
The Kingswood family are dead.
Damn it. I had a feeling, but I was hoping maybe they got away.
Not like the others, though. These ones...
Really?
They had organs taken from them, bones taken from them. Body parts were missing. It was very gruesome.
The other attacks haven't been anything like that.
Lots of blood.
We were attacked by a swarm of ravens who spoke of her, the one of bones.
Raisins. The image like just came in my head.
I'm very tired.
No.
I want a fan art of a swarm of raisins
attacking Mark.
Killing Trelemar.
Yeah.
A swarm of ravens. A woman of bone, you said? Ravens?
Is there anything in your local folklore that speaks of anything like this?
can't. And it's at this point the drow woman, who you can now see is kind of in a rudimentary cell, some very basic wooden. It's actually kind of more of like a wooden cage, effectively inside the building. She's just like, well, he might not, but I've heard something.
Speak, drow.
I have a name, thank you, tiefling. But I've heard a few of the children outside when they pass. They speak of a Nanny Bones. It's like some sort of rhyme or some sort of children's folk tale. And the master was just like, oh, that's a story that people tell their children when they're misbehaving. A crazy witch that curses people into frogs and takes them away and eats children, that sort of thing.
It would appear that she is
I
indeed.
mean, it could be a coincidence. Maybe somebody trying to use this legend.
Tell us the story. How does it go?
Oh, it's typical children's scare. Parents tell it to scare their children. It's more of a rhyme or song than anything else.
Give us details, man, for God's sake!
Well, it's, I don't know, I don't have kids. Something like, be good, or Nanny Bones will come into your house and steal you away. She wears the face of your mother. She'll lead you to her lair, something, and she eats you.
This is highly specific to exactly everything that's been going on.
Well, not really, but it's a kid's tale. It's like...
I heard something in town. I heard a woman say something to do with the lost children we've been hearing about, and that it was happening across the country. Is that something you know about?
Yes, it's an ongoing investigation, but it's all over the Dawn Republic, and nothing's related to these events so far. Lots and lots of missing children, just people being taken from their homes, or perhaps stolen on the streets, or...
So we have crows that are saying that they are under the control of her. The woman Bones. We have a fairy tale about a Nanny Bones who steals children.
Oh, she eats children.
She eats children, and children have been going missing.
That's been going on for a lot longer than we've had problems here in Tallfield. I mean, this has been going on for several weeks now. I don't know. I mean, it seems very... I mean, it could be related, but the fact that this is happening as far as Talisvar, this is happening in the capital. I mean, I can't see why it would be similar to the events here.
The ruined manor. Who did that belong to?
The manor. It was a long time ago. It was before the Lightfall, I think. Yes, it was an old noble's home before the Lightfall. It was burned down during an orc raid. Perhaps 40 years ago now. Before the Dawn Republic remained the king, the monarch, he had his nobles who controlled different lands. The noble who ruled over this area had a manor house here. It was burned down. He had long abandoned it, left, fled sometime. Something had happened or something. Again, lots before my time, really. It's always been a ruin. People have said, there's nothing up there. If you go up there, it's just stones, really. Although... there used to be an old story about there being the noble had a vault hidden beneath the manor. But people have gone up there. I mean, people hear about treasure, they try and find it, and they couldn't find it. They tried digging away at some of the floor, but couldn't find any indication of an underground vault.
Probably like a hidden switch or something that people haven't spotted.
Or magic.
Could be.
Or magic.
Like I said, I mean, people have gone up there, but they've not been looking for secret switches. They've been trying to dig into it from the ground.
We went to the abandoned farm.
Oh, the Weslin home.
Yeah.
There's
Place
some
gives me the chills.
nasty spirits in there.
Really?
There's will-o'-wisps. They feed on sorrow.
Oh. Most locals don't get close enough. Those that do are kids who normally just stick to the outside. Nobody goes inside the house anymore.
We went in to try and see if there was anything in there. And
you were attacked by this thing.
Yes.
Oh. He kind of he takes he starts searching for paper and a quill, and he starts writing stuff down. He's like, yeah, this needs to be investigated. Even if it's unrelated, this is pretty dangerous stuff.
It's very dangerous in there. It tries to lure people to their death. I've heard about these.
All right.
There's also a force field of some description in the basement.
Was that what that noise was?
Yeah, that was me walking headlong into it and being
Starts
propelled
away. He's like,
across the room.
Force field.
Yeah,
I'll have to send word for one of the...
It's surrounding a desk and a bookcase.
Okay. And he starts writing down, he's like, I'll have to send a missive to a magician up in the capital to come and investigate it if we can't deal with things like undead or magic force fields. But if we don't get this problem, they might not be here for weeks. By then, I think we'll run out of food, or who knows, we might all be dead. But it's worth investigating. Thank you. And he finishes writing up his notes. Look, I'm just a simple marshal. I'm used to dealing with bandits or the occasional orc. And this is all pretty new to me. If you think that this Nanny Bones fairy tale might somehow be related, then I trust your judgment. It seems quite crazy to me, but if you think it might be worthwhile, I mean, maybe some of the families or the children in the village might know a bit more than I do, but I'm afraid I can't help you too much. And it's at that point that you hear a male scream, a kind of cry, echo out from somewhere else in the village. And the marshal's like, "Oh, what now?" And you can see him. He grabs like a long sword in a scabbard off the wall. He like swings it. He starts when he's like, when he like opens the door, looks at you with like an expectant look of like, I have to go and deal with this. And then he's like, I'll be back in a moment. And he runs off.
Okay. Definitely want to look out the door and see where he's headed off to.
Towards the tavern.
Towards the tavern.
Well, we want to go to the tavern anyway to rest up, so I think we should
Let's go to the tavern.
follow after
Follow
him.
him.
It'd be a good way to get us away from the drow, though.
Someone should stay with the drow.
Is there somewhere I can rest up in the prison?
There's like a chair. That's it. If you're going to take a short rest, yeah.
I want to heal up and get a few points. So I'm going to stay with the drow.
We're going to stay there. You two rush off.
Tavern.
And so we're going to finish for today's session. Thank you very much, guys. So we're going to finish up there. Next week we will have Cam back. Some interesting events there. Very interesting. I was a bit worried when you went to certain places. I was like, this will be interesting. But yeah, you did well.
I've almost killed Trelmar again.
I was hoping it was just going to be a fun ghost I could chat to. Like,
Not that time.
I thought that was it again.
Not
When
that
a Wisp
Yeah.
came on, I was like, oh, here we go.
This is it. It's over.
But thank you very much for watching, guys. We're just going to I'm going to run around and I will read out some donations. Feel free if you guys want to head off. You're more than welcome to. I know you want sleep.
I need sleep.
Yeah, go get sleep. I'm going to read out some donations. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next week, same place, same time. Cam will be back with us. And yeah, we will carry on. So yeah, if you want to do any fan art, if you'd like it to appear on the stream at the beginning of the show, just make sure you either send it to community@yogscast.com or just tag it on Tumblr and just let me know you're okay with it being shown on stream. I don't want to put anything up there if you're not comfortable with it being shown on the stream itself. Apart from that, thank you very much for watching. And yeah, I'm going to read out some
We're still alive!
We're still alive!
Yay!
Baby!
Just about.
And we'll see you next time. Hashtag roll on Sunday! I love that, it's so good.
I know it is.
Alright, cool.
Great.
I'm going to read out some donations, so I'm going to move over to Cardboard Trot, and then we'll go from there. Cardboard Trot. Cool!
Cool ting. Cool. Can I go away then?
Yeah, feel free.
Yeah.
Just head off.
Just head
Go,
into
go.
the
I'm
wilderness.
going to take your seat, in fact, actually.
Okay.
So I want you
Trot's sitting on my bag and my coat.
Just throw him away. It's not. Yeah, there he goes. There he goes.
His little
Get
eyes.
out of here!
Little eyes.
Cool.
I need my D&D.
Yeah, that's yours. I'll take all of that.
We're good. Good.
Bye
Right.
guys. Have fun.
Bye!
Next week.
Oh god, I need sleep.
Move.
I need sleep so bad.
Go sleep. Sleep well, friend.
Sleep.
I'm gonna sleep on a nice bed.
Yeah, not the floor.
Right. Are we all good here? I realised that. Are we still rolling? I'm guessing. So we just carried on.
Bye,
am I
Kim.
starting at the
Bye.
bottom, Sam? Bye, Kim.
Bye.
She's out.
Oh, text thing. Steve's in. Read this. Yep. Start from the bottom. Can you guys see this, or is it just
No,
on mine?
it's just yours.
All right. I'll just read these out then. If you guys want to head off, I'm just going to read
No,
these
it's
out
fine.
quick, and then it's going to be good. Okay, so so donation from Dwarf, thank you very much. No message, just a donation. From Play_Safety Dance. Hey, I would love it if you guys would sing Safety Dance.
Mark.
Maybe at the end. I don't know if that was. I mean, I can sing like the chorus, but who knows the rest of Safety Dance? Everybody just knows the main bit.
I don't even know what that is.
I do know
Safety
it.
Dance, Safety
Kind
Dance.
of.
You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. And if you don't dance, and if your friend dances, then no friends of mine. You don't know the song?
I think so.
Oh my god, we'll have to show Matt to it. Hey! I can't remember the rest, but yeah, we'll show that to Matt. Charlie Berggren, love the D&D streams, keep it up. Thank you very much, Charlie, for your donation. Declared Yuppie. Awesome. Big donation there from you. Thank you. All the Yogscast streams are great. I'm watching these after the fact on YouTube. Wanted to jump on and donate to show my support. It's really appreciated. Thank you very much. I need to remember I'm looking in this camera now. Thank you very much there, Declared Yuppie. Thank you very much. Country Music Man. I'm currently going through a bout of SED, which is depression due to lack of sunlight in winter. I'm currently in college. I have seasonal affective disorder as well. It's really, really tough. I can completely sympathise there with you, man. What are you trying to get?
Alora.
I'll get it. Do you want it now? Or I can get it in a second. I completely sympathise with that. I get it really, really bad in the winter, and it's been really tough here in Bristol. Vitamin D supplements and get a sad light. It will help a lot, trust me. Luckily, the stream is around to be the reason to break it through my week. Thought I'd give you guys a little pocket money. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And good luck with the sads. I know it's really tough. Esky9000, greetings from Viking Land. I used to play a badass tiefling warlock who is semi-connected to Cthulhu and who only communicated through telepathy. His name was Chiron. If you want to use him as a bad guy or perhaps Keen's secret demon Viking crush. I don't think Jiutou is the type to have a secret
She's got enough
crush.
time for that.
She hasn't got enough time. She's too busy kicking ass. But certainly, I think that he would get on very well with Trelemar. I think there.
Yeah.
Definitely. Vera Shadow donates as well. Loving High Roller stream, especially love the mysterious Trelemar. Matt, you are doing a great job for your first D&D campaign ever.
you.
From Catherine.
Thank you very much.
Trelemar, see, told you, he's the heartthrob. He's the true heartthrob. I'm fully expecting the Alora Trelemar art to start after all the rescuing. Like with every time rescuing Trelemar, it's gonna happen.
It's happened, what, 3 times now?
Yeah.
It's already started with Cam and Jiutou.
Yeah, although that's just that's gonna always be just never gonna go anywhere because Jiutou cannot stand Cam in the slightest. Like Kim's just giving me the face of like I'm gonna murder him. Like if monsters don't kill Cam, Jiutou will. So also donation from Peter. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Master Comrade also donation 10 out of 10 stream. Alert, this fraction simplifies to 1. Okay, thank you. I'm too dumb to understand. So CM Izix as well. Donation there, no message. Thank you very much. Drax. Oh, Draz. Hey, Draz. So hoping Cam is just fucking about in a local strip club trying to have the ladies look at his flower crotch. Maybe. Maybe.
Probably is.
He might do. Thank you very much, Draz. Really appreciate it, dude. Science of Hands, it's a shame Trot's gone, but this is still top quality content. Thank you very much. I know that people really miss Trot. He'll be back next week, don't worry.
We miss him too.
We miss our clown, our comedy clown. Although Trelemar did pretty well on the slapstick front of it this time. like Cam is the silly I'm a prat humour, and then Trelemar is just like knocking people over with like planks as he turns around and like trying to jump out windows.
He's like, I think I just look at Jiutou and I'm like, I can do that.
I can do that. And then just rolling like shit. So, also
really bad rolls tonight. Really bad.
Really,
I rolled like 3 natural ones.
I had some really good rolls. Like genuinely, my rolls are pretty scary. I'm pretty terrifying as a DM because I'm a god of dice. Next one. So Thorax Malone Trot hasn't blinked in 45 minutes. Is he okay? Well.
He's really creepy. He's got googly eyes.
The eyes follow you all over the place. But thank you very much for the donation. You're just gonna Kim's just watching me.
I'm just quite intrigued by it all.
Oh, the whole thing.
I do. I'll just stay.
Crazy E-Man 83. Hello, I've been watching since Duncan's old Tech It series, so I think I owe it to you for the amazing content you provided. Thank you very much, man. Thank you for donating during the stream.
You should be there.
Voxiel. Hey guys, I didn't know I loved
over.
D&D so much. All D&Ds like this. Thanks for this, you all. Buy some more nice dice for the money and keep going. Trelly Belly for life. Hashtag. No, all D&Ds probably aren't like this. It's going to be very different each group. Every group has a different dynamic. Every GM's a bit different. I tend to go very open world and let people do what they want and just let stuff happen. Some DMs like to have a very focused story and you're kind of driven through it more like a narrative. It's always going to be a bit different, so it just depends on different groups, really. Like the game I play with Trot, when we play offline just for fun, it's more of a Smithy and Harry murder everyone, and I try and clean up all their mess.
I just hear it from the other
it's
room,
horrible.
and they're just
They're
like,
brutal.
yeah, I want to kill this person.
But they kill them in horrible ways, like
Yeah,
horrible
they do.
ways.
And then
Horrible.
they take trophies off of their bodies usually. But like,
Horrible.
at some point, did someone not take a penis?
Well, maybe. That sounds
Or,
like
I think
Smith.
that was before you joined,
That's
but at some
probably
point
before,
that
yeah.
happened.
It sounds like Smith. So another mess. Loving the stream. I woke up early in rainy San Diego to catch it live this time.
Aw,
I played
thank
my
you.
first
Thank you
tabletop
very much.
RPG over the holidays, and watching you all has been fun and inspiring. Keep it up. # keep saving Trelemar.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Yay! We saved him.
We will. We
but
will
no,
keep
thank you very
saving.
much. I'm glad you're enjoying it, and glad you're getting into tabletop as well. RPGs. It's always more fun to have more players. Stormcaller 3801 donated. Lisa needs braces, aka High Rollers need minis. Yes, I am going to buy more. I've bought a bunch, but I'm painting them. But if there are any web stores out there that might be interested in sending me some, maybe we can give a little shout out. Plug. So yeah, but no, thank you very much for your donation. Zephyr Rocks, God, there's loads tonight.
Yeah,
it feels like
lot.
way more.
There is.
Zephyr Rocks, badass Jiutou.
Yeah.
Very much so. She is the badass of the group.
She is.
Georg Cantor, Georg. D&D is great, but requires more mathematicians. Yeah, I mean, I'm quite bad. Like, I know I will, if I could see rolls, I add up too quickly that I will interrupt people. I do it like in our home games. Like, I'll do it to like Harry and Smith all the time, where I'll watch what they roll and I know what they've got as their stats. So I'll be like, you got 14. Like, come on, hurry up. You got 12 damage. Add it up, quicker. So I'm pretty bad for that, but yeah, it does help with maths, so it does help you with adding up stuff. Copy Dev Pasty, # High Rollers, you guys are awesome. Trot looks like he needs some vitamins. Yep, he does.
No, someone tweeted and said he looks like he just had a really high level hold person spell.
Yeah, which is really good, yeah. So it's like a paralysis
That's what it
spell,
was.
like, just holding him in place. And that was a big donation as well from Copy De Pasty, so thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Phalange, a big smooch on the forehead for our lovely Kim. I love all these tabletops and D&D streams.
I'll smooch her on the forehead.
Yeah, we'll all smooch her on the forehead.
Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here.
No, there
It's
you go.
moist. Smooched.
Moist. Uncontrolled Kutlu. Great session once again. Here's to hopefully many, many more. Also made my first fan art ever today. Send it your way. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Send more fan arts. Always welcome. Donation from Just Mike. Helping out. By the way, when we play, we do an in retrospect after a session. What was great? What could have been better? All that crap. Would you consider doing like something like that once in a while? It would be fun to watch at least. I think I would do that as a DM, but I don't want the play. I don't want you guys to feel like you could have done something better because you are playing as your characters. But me as a DM, there are definitely things where I think, oh, I should have done that better, or
Mark is
I
very
could have left
critical
this
of
in.
himself as
I'm
well.
very critical of
Very
myself.
critical
So
of himself.
that's certainly something. Maybe if we have like a week where all of you guys aren't free, but I am, I could do like a DM stream one day and we can talk about what's happened so far. I could definitely look into doing something like that. That'd be quite fun. Beckstar2811, a donation. You guys have helped encourage my husband and I to start D&D. I'm a half-elf bard and he's the DM for our group. Any fun tips you guys could give us? Also, thank you for telling everyone about Critical Role as we're hooked on them too. You guys are awesome. Crit Role is awesome. You should definitely check it out on Thursdays, and you can watch it on the Geek and See Geek and Sundry Twitch and on their YouTube as well. It's really good. You should check that out. In terms of tips, I think a good one is to just come up with a very basic character backstory because it helps give you a basis of what would my character do. So try and come up with like, you know, think about how they would react in certain situations, like how well do they respond to being intimidated, how well do they respond to being afraid of something, and just think about key things that will help you play.
We need to get our character backstories up somewhere.
Yeah, well, I want to kind of, but I want to
out-
edit them so that it's
Oh,
not
so
too
there's
much is
no
given
s-
away.
yeah,
so it's
yeah.
kind of like a little bit, but we
but
keep, because
not
especially for like
too much.
Trelemar, like he has very much a mysterious past, so we don't want to bring too much of that in. I'm trying to think about other stuff. Just try and focus on having fun. Remember, it's everybody has to have fun. It's not the DM telling his story. The players need to make it fun for the DM as well. So yeah, it's kind of hard without knowing the groups, but I'm sure you guys can do it just fine. Just keep watching stuff. Like I learned so much from watching Crit Roll, and Matt, you know, he's a fantastic DM. Just keep watching stuff. It really helps you learn.
That's where I learned.
Yeah, like how to play and
I've
stuff
never
like that.
played before this stream.
Yeah, so it's a really good way to do that. Leon Hard Ilula. Always remember an approximity equals to 2.71 blah blah, the fundamental constant of natural. I have no idea.
Big words.
That's
big
a lot of
numbers.
words and a lot of maths, and I don't understand it. But thank you for your donation. It's really appreciated. I think that's the top. Is that the last of it there, Shamstiv?
Shamstiv.
Shamstiv. He's going to type in the message box. I'm going to assume that you're going to type that's all of them. Thank you. Well, that's all the donations. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, we will see you next week. So keep watching and tell friends about it. And yeah, enjoy.
And Trot's sorry he couldn't be here.
Yes,
he's very sad, but
he better be.
He's gonna FaceTime me tonight and literally make me tell him everything.
Well, I'll need to email him because I need to tell him what Cam was up to while he was away.
Secrets.
Secrets. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next time. Bye.